Hello everyone, if you're new to my channel, consider liking and subscribing. It will make me feel wonderful if you do that. Thanks. By the way, I also have another Naruto and Luffy fanfiction channel. If you are interested, link is in the description.
Please sign here by 2ILVR80X. Pirate King Monkey D. Luffy has agreed to go back in time some years when he was first starting out as a pirate. It is clear this decision was based due to his dead crew. No doubt he wishes to stop their demise. All details are on his contract, but he has agreed to take me with him, and off this godforsaken rock. I don't own anything. Adios.
Kuro's shirt symbols. Poop Django's chin. A mushroom. Acquired from his past job as a wandering dancer. Failed due to laziness. Did not take baths. Mushroom grew at the tip of his chin and activated his power of hypnotism. Further study is advised. Kuro found a kindred spirit in Morgan. Disturbing. Kuro can run 100 meters in about 4.0 to 5 seconds. Kuro is second highest IQ in East Blue, behind Ben Backman and ahead of Nami. Butchie's cape is a Kotatsu Buden, blanket heater. Cats love this. Kuro is 33. Usopp. Ah. Usopp jumps a bit, almost dropping the barrel of oil in his hands and clutching his heart. My heart. Why are you sneaking? This slope needs to have every inch of the ground covered before dawn after all. The moon is waning crescent. Huh? Usopp puts down the barrel of oil, looking at her. Her gaze isn't on him at all focused on the sky. The moon. Oil repeats herself, it is waning crescent. Shakes are covering 76% of the moon. Usopp draws his attention to where their covered gaze is directed. In the sky is a yellow sharp-edged moon, appearing like a delicate glass figure dangling by a string. Usopp has seen it 100 times, thousands even, but tonight it seems more ominous, almost menacing. He tries to laugh off his worries like he usually does. Yes, the crescent moon. A sign of the Space Pirates Alliance to me. The great Captain Usopp. He strikes a pose, pointing at himself. After I saved their planet from destruction, the Space Pirates followed my every whim, signifying their loyalty to me by the crescent moon. Usopp spouts his usual bravo lies, and he has to admit it is pretty out there even for him. But Oil, well, their jaw is hanging open just a bit, so he must have been more convincing than he thought. Oil whispers under their breath, "How did you know about the Space Pirates?" What? Usopp couldn't have heard her correctly. What? Oil doesn't want to answer. Usopp sighs, never mind, he goes back to oiling the floor. Oil starts mumbling to themselves. The crescent moon occurs when the moon's illumination is decreasing. The moon is less than 1/2 illuminated by the sun but more than 1/4 illuminated. Logically, it should have no other effect on this planet but tides receding. Their gaze is solely on the moon as if there's nothing else around them. But this moon has an effect on people on this planet. The yellow moon. It shares the same orbit as the purple moon. The probability for this is near 0.01% as their masses highly differ, so I take it that it is their matter that changes this. As weight is null in space, it is logical to suppose it is their matter that makes this possible. This is off topic. The moon causes a great change to many animalistic persons, causing excitement on their cellular and molecular level, mostly in the mammal category, as fish men do not seem to have a historical record of being affected, unless indulged by drugs. But animal hybrids and humans with carnivorous natures are seen having an increased power or bloodlust. Usopp stops oiling, slowly looking back at them. You know, if you are trying to imitate me, you are going to have to make better lies than that. He shakes his head, letting out a disappointed sigh. Your build-up was good, not great, but you need to sell it to me. He moves his hands into a gripping kind of motion. You really got to put emotion behind your words to get your point across. Their gaze doesn't move a millimeter. All will be revealed in time. Okay. Usopp raises an eyebrow. Creepy. Oil is creepy, alright. They mumble to themselves a lot. They aren't the most reactive. Like, all their actions are just a second too slow. They have a knack of unnoticeably coming and going as they please. They knows things too. Things that they really shouldn't. Usopp doesn't know what to make of the strange kid. Hey, Oil. Oil draws their gaze from the moon almost reluctantly at Usopp. He takes this a good sign, trying to give a thankful smile. Thanks for the, tips with my ammunition. Oil just keeps looking at him. He thinks. He can't even tell with their eyes covered. How can they see? Oh, they finally say, no thanks are necessary. You would have figured it out eventually, I simply speed up the process. Usopp's mouth opens and closes like a fish. Really? He quickly gives a confident grin. True. I have no doubt that in time I would have made a great arsenal myself effortlessly, for I am the master of such creativity. Again they give no reaction and he deflates, but, still, yeah, I owe you one. Oil shakes their head. Again, unnecessary, we are crew members. Right, Usopp agrees. Wait, I haven't agreed yet. Unnecessary, Oil states simply. What does that mean? Usopp points at them. I had to agree before becoming a member. Oil wonders if they should go into detail how, for the Straw Hat crew, nobody has a say whether they become a member or not. You either are or you are not. End of discussion. At least from what they have gathered. But Usopp could be useful for a certain task they need help with, even if his favor is unnecessary. Actually, Usopp, they feel her throat close up again. Darn it, they thought they got past this. Hesitation. This is Usopp, they have already formed a connection with him. They can do this. Do you know how to shuffle a deck? Huh? He doesn't call them out on the changing of subject. Yeah, why? I would like, they has to word this perfectly, to be able to use my abilities to their full potential. However, my fighting skills are lacking. Hard to learn how to fight when there is nothing to fight or anything to teach you. They can cover a plan of attack but actually attacking. Their experience in that category is significantly lower than their crew members, despite the age differences. This is their first time meeting with a battle. Well, that's not true. This is their first time undergoing a battle where it wasn't a genocide. Usopp shrugs. Alright, give me your cards. Oil hands them out from their pocket and he takes them in his hand expertly. Now, not to brag. Yes he does. But I have quite the skill when it comes to cards. He springs the cards from one to another without even looking. Years of card tricks finally coming to use. Now it is all in the thumbs actually. He shows them how to spring the cards with her fingers. It is a horrible mess. The cards drop to the floor or go flying everywhere. Oil is mortified. Every failure stings. They think they dislikes this feeling the most. They thanks their stars that Zoro is too busy taking a nap to tease them and Nami is hiding her treasure safely. Only Luffy seems to be aware of their progress as he silently oils the rest of the runway. And don't feel bad about not getting it at first. Usopp ends his lesson, giving them back the cards. It's all in the consistent practice. Despite his ego, his advice is valid and welcomed. This time they are ready. Thank you, Usopp. They have been thinking of how to thank him for probably the past 15 minutes. Usopp crosses his arms looking quite proud, of course. All in a day's work of the expert card player Usopp. Is that another prediction? Usopp cocks his head. Prediction? Oh, Oil puts their cards in her pocket. Nothing. They look back to the sky. It is almost time. It isn't till now that Usopp realizes the sun was starting to make an appearance over the horizon. The first hints of daylight dusting the sky in a lavender glow. He would say they got another few minutes before the shining ball makes its debut. But he is ready. They got the slope covered and a variety of other traps that he thought of set. The gray girl may be good with numbers but she has nothing on the creativity of Captain Usopp. Yes, they have the whole slope armed to the teeth. 5 mighty pirates ready to fight all against one pirate crew. Zoro, finally awake, is cleaning his super sharp swords, and assembles her bow. Luffy is napping, and Oil is still practicing how to shuffle a pair of cards. Yes, Usopp knows exactly what he is doing. Who is he kidding? He is fucking terrified. He is really going to do this, of course. He is going to do this. This is his village, after all. No pirate crew is going to stop him from defending what he knows is right. He knows that. But he is still scared. No, he is not going to run away. This is his fight and his fight alone. A rubbery arm wraps around Usopp's neck. Usopp. Luffy appears out of nowhere. This is awesome. You're pretty good at fighting dirty. Usopp tries not to show that his heart stopped for a second from the surprise. Oh, of course I am. I am a world champion at fighting dirty. There isn't anyone alive who can best me with trickery, right? He actually isn't alone this time. He has his friends, crew, nakama, well, whatever they are, they're his at least. You say that like you're proud of it, Zoro drolls on mockingly. Hey, I'm a sniper and a trickster. Usopp snaps back, I'm not the most threatening silhouette, but this is how I fight. Luffy laughs a bit, arms still hugging Usopp as Nami lets out a giggle herself. Usopp is right. He is nowhere near threatening, and Nami could respect that. You don't need to look threatening anyway. Nami santers to the duo, lying, tricking, stealing. She punctuates each word. There are a lot of dangerous people in this world. Her voice grows soft. We normal people are just trying to make do. Luffy could feel Usopp's shoulder relax a bit, not feeling the need to defend himself anymore. Nami found a kindred spirit in Usopp. They were always the bottom two in strength on the crew, forcing them to become smarter, think faster, and run quickly to catch up with the rest of the monsters on their crew. Such smart people shouldn't be scared of a bunch of idiots like the Black Cat Pirates. It is bittersweet to Luffy's eyes. Nami doesn't deserve anything that happened to her. Not by a long shot. It forced her into a role where she had to commit terrible deeds and put herself in danger for the sake of those she loves. But at the same time, they are a part of her so much. As much as Nami is kind, and awesome, and badass, she is also tricky, and clever, and quick, and being a thief has honed those skills even more so. Zoro looks out to the sea, speaking softly, they're coming. At his words, the world becomes bathed in the light as the sun finally breaches the horizon. It is daybreak. The morning seems to skip any presentation as there is no changing of the colors poetically like one would expect on the day of a battle. No, the sky is normal blue like it is any other day. All 5 take their place at the top of the hill, Zoro at the end, Nami to his left, Usopp in the middle, Oil next, and at the other end Luffy. They meet the day's light unflinching, ready for the attack of the day. Well, most of them. Oil calculates their chances as horribly slim. While Zoro has a 92% chance of taking down his enemies, while the chances of Serval escaping him out of pure numbers is 86%. These enemies, while few, will be left to Nami, Usopp and herself. They have covered the plan 100 times, and while there is a 99.99% probability of victory, 0.01% being stupid scenarios like meteorites, but this is the actual attack. This is their first time meeting battle. They have not really had the chance to gain battle experience. Just bad experiences. They calculate that they have a 37% chance of making any sort of positive impact. Oil takes a deep breath, trying to keep their nerves in check. Their first fight, and they are not even fighting. No fear of death, as Luffy would no doubt knock anyone out if the fight became too dangerous, but all of them need this. It is logical after all. Usopp and Nami need the confidence in battle. Zoro has been feeling itchy since Orange Village. Luffy can't wait to kick Kuro Inu ass, but they are useless. Luffy, as if reading their thoughts, puts a hand on their head. Oil, stop worrying. He makes them look at him, as he stares right through their bandana. I won't let anything happen. Focus on doing your best and kick ass. Oil isn't sure if that is the most compelling thing to say before a battle, but they feel their chest warm anyway. What are you doing? Nami asks with an annoyed expression. Giving them some advice? Luffy questions back. She doesn't have a weapon. Nami gestures to Oil's empty hands. You can't send a kid into battle without a weapon. She wants to say you shouldn't send a kid into battle at all, but Oil is a pirate. I am not a kid, Oil reasons. I am. Oh stars. How old are they? They hadn't had to think about that for decades. Let's see, last birthday, they were. I am 16, physically. Oh thank goodness, Nami sarcastically says, she's 16. Zoro shrugs, hey, I was kicking ass when I was 16. Nami rolls her eyes, after what you did last night I am pretty sure you're not human. Luffy waves his hand, she's fine. She just needs to find out how to attack and stuff. Is this really the time to have a practice run? Usopp interrupts them both. We are going to be fighting real pirates. Luffy brushes it off like it isn't a big deal. Because it isn't. Hey, this is your first fight too, Usopp. Usopp falters at that. Luffy is right, but at least he has his trusty slingshot. He has a feeling Luffy will be fine with his rubber powers, but Oil, not so much. Usopp sighs, Oil, take it from a coward, right here right now. It is okay to be scared, as long as you are here. He really hopes he isn't looking lame right now. He isn't used to showing how scared he really is, but he gets it. Okay. We have to stand now in order to overcome our fears. Oil's chest hurts. It is so sharp, but it is also warm. They like the feeling. Usopp is dropping his confident act just to reassure them. It is so genuine. Usopp is right. Oil concludes, our adversaries in the future will be more of a threat compared to now. Now is the time to build foundations. Nami groans, seeing she is fighting a losing battle. I'm not even a fighter, I'm a navigator. Nami yells at their captain, grabbing him by the front of his shirt. Luffy grabs her hand to stop her from shaking him and looks her in her eyes. She looks back at him with anger, but he can see the fear she is trying to hide. I'll be here, he reassures her. If I see that you're in trouble, I'll help. Besides, you are a great fighter, you'll be fine, he finishes with a smile. Nami doesn't want to, but she can't help but trust that face. At the end of his words, the day starts, and when this plan works, the day will be like any other. Like it was any other day that the Black Cat pirate ship pulled up to the shore of a sleepy village. Like it was any other day 30 pirates give a roar, itching to pillage without mercy. Like it was any other day they rush off of the ship and jump onto the solid ground, ready to run up the hill. Only to stop at the base of a slope at the unexpected sight of 5 teens at the top. Like any other day. The pitifully dressed cat-themed pirates look at each other in confusion, not really expecting anyone to know about them. Hey, Django, lackey number 1 calls back to the stand-in captain, there is a bunch of kids in the way. Django looks a little confused as well, strutting up to the front. Who could it be? Captain Kuro is expecting us. He glares at the intruders intruding on their intrusion, and calls up the hill, hey, move or die. Usopp gave a cough. I'm giving you all one warning. His voice conveys his fake confidence perfectly as he stretches out one hand in fair warning. I have a 100 million man crew right behind me ready to kill you, so if you don't want to die, then retreat at once. Lackey number 2 scoffs, only an idiot would fall for that. Django is sweating, what? 100 million man crew? We can't hope to beat those numbers. Captain, he is lying, lackey number 3 yells, pull yo. Usopp again loses his confidence, damn, they saw through my lie. Nami sighs, tapping him in the head with her bow, Usopp, either commit to the lie or don't, but don't just admit it. Django sneers at the long-nosed kid. You dare lie to me? How dare this brat make a fool of him, you bastard? He gets out his hypno-disc thing. Look at this. After I say, 1, 2, Django, you will move out of the way. He starts swinging the thing by a single strain. 1, TW, only to be cut off by his own thing being cut off. Literally, the string was cut in half and the disc fell to the floor. What the hell? All the pirates trace the projectile back to the top of the hill. Target neutralized. Oil acknowledges the shot. Luffy pats Usopp on the back. Good job, Usopp. Usopp puts down his slingshot. Yeah, well, I don't plan on getting hypnotized today after all. He tosses his bullet of choice in the air. That was just the beginning. He bellows, but even less you want to face more of Usopp's new weapons. Star shards. Oil turns to him. It isn't just broken glass? Usopp glares at them. Shut up. It sounds cooler with the name. Zoro nods. Attacks are always better when they have a cool name. Usopp points to the professional ass kicker. See? Illogical. Luffy steps in. No, they have a point. Attacks need a name. It's like a science. Nami sweat drops. I don't think it goes that far. Django and every other pirate are not so keen as the teens up the hill seemingly forgot about them like they were just an annoyance not worth their attention. In fact, they're downright pissed. Attack. Django orders, just kill everything in your path, especially those damn bastards. The pirates take a running start uphill, weapons raised, blood pumping, hopes and dreams uncrushably high. While the loud noise of their screaming was borderline unbearable, Oil watches with amusement. Yes, they're sure this bubbly feeling in their chest is amusement. Maybe even excitement. It reminds them of happiness, but, while warm, it has an exhilarating effect on them. You were never expecting them to retreat. They don't turn their gaze away from the pirates to ask. They threatened Kaya. Usopp practically growls, his face not showing any amusement of his own. Oil nods, logical. At least in this line of reasoning, it is a very common pattern among the Straw Hats. If you hurt someone they love, you will be erased. They hum, it is for the best, after all, cleaner this way. A horde of very eager pirates is about to reach the halfway point of the slope. Yes, things are much simpler when mercy was never an option. The first wave is interrupted by the oil. Pirates falling headfirst into the liquid when trying to run up. What the hell? One of the more disposable pirates comments. Django is not having it. Hurry up, it's just some damn oil. The pirates quickly try running through it again, only falling on their asses, trying to walk up only to slide backward, trying to tiptoe up only to pathetically flop like a fish, trying to crawl up. Shit. This impossible. Every one of them then was covered with a layer of oil from their numerous attempts. Stop, you morons, Django shouts, use your weapons. Zoro taps his foot impatiently. Yeah, hurry up, he huffs. We didn't spend all night getting ready for you guys to stop here. One lackey takes a running start up the oil slope using his weapon as leverage reaching past the point of the oil. I did it. He cheers, looking back at his crew. Come on, we can STI. Sadly, this lackey was never able to finish his sentence as he is rudely interrupted by being set on fire. Nami leisurely watches on as the guy fruitlessly tries to put himself out. He isn't going to die or anything, right? Oil shakes their head, opening their journal. From what I can tell, being set on fire isn't an immediate death threat, but it does cause a tremendous amount of pain while leaving them unconscious. Usopp picks up another new bullet, looking authentically confident in himself. Then I guess I don't need to hold back. He pulls his slingshot back, Usopp Firestar, and sends it flying straight into another oil-slicked pirate to combust right next to his colleges. From there on, chaos ensues. Usopp is firing like he is shooting fish in a barrel. The pirates who are on fire treat to get help from those who aren't, only to put those on fire. Fire, shooting star, shooting star, shooting star. Usopp starts rapidly firing his bullets now, one right after another, and each one is a direct hit. Oil understands that Usopp is their only ranged fighter, and so this is their time to step up, they suppose. They nervously makes their new weapon, hoping that they aren't going to make a fool out of themselves. This is Usopp's specialty that he has trained himself in for years, giving him a 99% chance of hit rate, an absurdly high number for his current state. And his skills will only grow with time, with targets even farther and more challenging. It would be illogical to compare their skills to his. They should have thought of a cool name for their attack as well. Does it make them look foolish not to have a name? Will they just get in the way? No, they takes a breath, calming themselves. That has a 15% chance of getting in the way, and that is if they are so bad that they hit her crew members. What matters is that they get experience. Oil opens their palms, producing paper materials, thinking of what to create. For now, long range seemed to be the most suitable, and for long range they would need paper stars. It was a simple origami creation, 2 pieces of paper folded to the point where it become a star, similar to that of a ninja's with 4 points. Easy to make and theoretically easy to throw. They take a deep breath, not saying a word, their throat closing tightly, making it impossible for them to even say an attack name even if they had one. With new weapon in hand, they aim, and throws. only to miss any pirate as it lands harmlessly on the ground. Usopp shoots the pirate instead. Straighten your wrist, he yells at them. Oil quickly makes another, trying again. Well, they suppose they might as well get their practice in. They aims more carefully at the figures that Usopp has not set on fire yet who are trying to run away, leaving their backs vulnerable. They give a silent cheer as one hits a pirate on the shoulder, sending a squirt of blood. But while the shot did distract, it did not stop the attacker itself. The pirates stumble but don't go down, a little more bloodied, but still being able to move. None of the crew say anything as they watch the spectacle before them. No one is spared from the flames. In a matter of minutes, the entire Black Cat pirate crew is in a smoky mess at the bottom of the slope. Wow, Zoro crosses his arms, that was pathetically easy. Luffy laughs, man, I knew this was a good idea, but damn, these guys are so lame. Usopp's heart is racing, half from aiming and half from adrenaline. What are you talking about? I was doing all the heavy lifting. He pauses for a moment, and, you too, Oil. Oil refuses to look at him, for once not caring if it is rude. Their paper ninja stars were terrible. Only grazing the pirates 35% of the time, none giving critical hits that they were aiming for. If anything, they only made them pissed. It was disgraceful, mortifying, useless. Luffy knocks their head gently with his knuckles. Stop being dumb, he could practically read their mind, just get better. Oil straightens their back, still unable to speak but nods their head anyway. Django, the only one who didn't bother to get into the oil, stands at the bottom fuming. How? He takes a deep breath. How could you idiots be taken out by a bunch of kids? Any members that are still conscious look back at their stand and Captain, we were expecting. Lackey whatever coughs, an easy kill Captain, not being set on fire. Another lifts his head whining, it's been a while. Django shoves his fist in his pocket hypno disc. We don't have time to fool around, Captain Kuro is an impatient man. That's it, anyone still conscious look this way. The crew members lift their heads down the slope at their captain's order. When I say Django, you will forget all your pain and fight until you can't stand. So is that how he does it? Usopp looks down the hill, looks weird. It looks so fake, Nami skeptically observes. He's trying to convince them they're stronger than they are. Like that'll work. Actually, he's planting suggestions in a person's mind, Oil interjects. He's trying to trick them into believing that is what they want. For example, if he tells a person that they are feeling tired, their mind hears the subjection and almost wills the body to sleep. When he's telling them that they're stronger than they usually are, he is implanting suggestions into their minds, tricking them into thinking that as well. It usually works on impressionable people. They trails off looking at a certain captain. Luffy coughs a bit. Yeah, that must suck. Captain, an unusually smart lackey asks, aren't we going to die from ignoring our wounds? 1-2 Django. Django rushes his words faster than anyone could object, with results being immediate. The crew roars. Their eyes are milky white and they are back on their feet, burns and pain already forgotten. Their muscles seem to grow and one of the pirates punches the side of the cliff with such force that it cracks and collapses. Interesting, Oil takes out their journal to write a few notes. It is fascinating how their eyes changed as well and their muscle size is increased astonishing 102%, though that man's hand is undoubtedly broken now. I would even say this hypnosis is borderline mind control. Might come in handy later. Nami turns on her, how at that? She regards the now breaking cliff destroyed by a hit that could easily break the skulls. Interesting. Well, hypnotism has a variety of uses, Oil reasons. Increasing strength, no fear, it would be a fascinating experiment to try. Maybe with animals? Nami groans, not seeming to agree as Usopp squeaks in fear and Zoro glances back at Luffy, who finds his nails strangely fascinating at the moment. Zoro lets out a low whistle. You were right. He goes into a lax pose. Things are getting interesting. Oil nods. It was a good first attack but definitely not enough to take them down. The pirates ran past the oil spill, crawling over each other like mindless pawns. No, the next plan of attack is needed. It is only because the pirates are in a bloodthirst that they take no notice of all the tripwires beyond the oil slick. The wires are connected to the top of the cliffs, where several boards and complicated mechanics start moving. Django notices as he sees movement from the top of the cliffsides. Oh no, wait, stop, but it is too late. From the sides of the cliff falling and crashing to the ground were boulders the size of an average human. And it is only then that instincts can overrun their hypnotism, making the pirates realize they have fucked up. Ooh. Usopp winces at the sight of pirates being run over. That has got to hurt. Nami nods. I don't think a leg is supposed to bend that way. How many of those things did you cut again? Luffy turns to Zoro. He shrugs. I don't know. A lot. 76. Oil remembers. We made it even to put an equal amount on each side. Oh yeah. Zoro stopped counting after 5, just swinging his swords till he got tired. It was a good workout. Nami rolls her eyes. Like I said, not human. After seeing him cut 76 boulders out of spare rocks last night, she doesn't doubt his monstrous strength. Usopp folds his arms. Yeah, but what about the spikes? After 76 boulders falling, the last wire finally releases a slingshot full of spikes into the air. At the bottom of the cliff where every pirate runs away concerned about their own safety. How ironic. In a bloody mess. All pirates have spikes rained down upon them, and even their ship isn't spared from the frontal assault. The only one without a single spike is Django as he holds his hypno things dangerously. Django is desperately fighting a losing battle. He has to win, they have to, else Kuro is going to kill them himself. You have forced my hand, he calls back to the ship. Come down, the ship's guards, the Nyaben brothers. Just as he calls, two figures make a 7-foot vertical jump into the air and Hero land right behind him. It is all very dramatic and also cool if not for the circumstance that these guys' fashion sense looks worse than any human beings who has ever lived. You called, Captain Django? The green-haired fake hunchback monstrosity asks. He has swirly green hair with fake cat ears, though not surprising as most the crew have that. No, what is surprising is his hunchback-like shoulders and short, showing very unshaven legs. It's a mess. What's up? The cow one asked. He looks like a cow with a blanket as a cape, enough said. Usopp and Nami look on in confusion. What are they? Usopp shrugs. Cat people? Oil shakes their head. No, cat people have a better sense in fashion. Those minks look quite tasteful in their stylish uniforms. The two strike a pose, arms out and legs in sync. Together, we're the Nyaben brothers. We don't care, Luffy shouts down the hill, crushing their spirits. Oil cocks her head. Nyaben? Yeah, Usopp gestures vaguely. Yeah, no. He brings a slightly curled fist under his chin. Naya? Oil stares blankly at Usopp. Even with her eyes covered he could feel their judgment. Was there truly no other way you could have conveyed that? Django ignores their antics. Butchie, Sham. We must get past this slope, but as you can see, someone's in our way. He points right at the 5. Take care of them. The green one, Sham, starts to sweat. That's impossible for us, right, Butchie? The cow, Butchie, shivers as well. Yeah, they seem to be very strong. Usopp cocks his head. What's going on? Aren't they supposed to be good? Sham shrugs. We are the ship's guards. Our responsibility's just to look after the ship. Butchie nods intensely. Yeah, you're right. We don't want to participate in battles. Django is losing his patience. Both of you, just go do it. Sham cowers under his captain's voice as Butchie hides in his blanket cap. Be both of us? Django knows they have to be convincing, but they have to hurry up, damn it, get going. Sham and Butchie start to clumsily make their way up the hill as ungracefully as possible. Fine. We're going. Though the illusion of helplessness was lost again to another 7-foot jump across the oil bridge. Oil doesn't even bother to remember their names because they're so useless. Zoro would easily be able to defeat them with all 3 swords, but with only one he would have trouble. Oil turns to Zoro. Zoro, they're stronger than they look. Eliminate them quickly and swiftly, please. Zoro gives her a look like, really? The Nyaben brothers stiffen and start to sweat a little as Zoro looks back to stare at them again. Luffy grins. Consider this an apology for taking care of all the guys last time. Now it's your turn to show off. Zoro gives a sinister smile as he ties his bandana around his head. This time there is no holding back. Oil thinks quickly. Should they pat him? They have seen Luffy do it several times to show good faith in his crew. Would that be unwanted from them? Probably safe not to. They are not Luffy and has not evaluated the situation enough to commit the actions of patting yet, but this would be a missed opportunity, and what are the chances of this happening again? Should they? They gives a single quick pat to Zoro's shoulder. Have fun? Zoro gives them a feral grin, not showing any discomfort from the interaction. I will. And starts descending to the 2 pirates like a wolf descending into a flock of sheep. They have done it. That single act fills them with more satisfaction than their plan working. Should we? Oil shakes their head. He has been waiting long enough for this. Caution is advised to stand back. Usopp laughs nervously. Yeah, good plan. Don't worry Zoro, we got your back. Nami nods, watching as Zoro takes his place right in between them and the pirates. Shit. Self-named cat burglar Sham knows he isn't going to get the drop on this guy. He tries to grab his swords with his swift cat-like hands and Butchie is right behind him, ready to get the drop of Zoro when he moves to dodge. But with Zoro having no mercy or hesitation, they aren't anywhere near the same level.
Zoro takes the first blood. Santoryu, Onigiri, said teen yells as he strikes Butchie right in the chest. Sham is able to move out of the way solely for the fact that his self-preservation instincts kick in, telling him to move the fuck out of the way. However, his partner right behind him is not so lucky. They may be hungry for blood, but it is nothing compared to the man who has been denied a good battle longer than any demon should have.
Both Usopp and Nami are stunned. While both understand his strength, this is their first time seeing it in action. You're that strong? Usopp yells out. At this point Nami just gives a tired sigh. Of course, he is that insanely powerful. With a freak captain like Luffy, she should have expected this. Sham is completely on the defense. Shit, 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 shit. As Zoro rains down slice attack after slice attack. Zoro is relentless, putting all his built-up frustrations of missing battle into his attacks. Yet his movements are never hindered, he is swimming, he is in his element. Sham does a backflip away as Zoro follows. You're good. The cat huffs, but not good enough, now Butchie. Butchie gets up miraculously, having been playing dead since the first attack. Zoro's back is left open to him and he makes his move. Tora. Gari. Zoro easily cuts the fat cow with one sword behind his back. Guess all that blubber saved him, till now. Sham feels the fear of God, the devil, and several other deities come upon him as Zoro draws his attention back to him. Please. He whimpered, have mercy. Zoro's face is of one defies all of the above, no. And with one last slice, both of the Nyabin brothers are taken out. Zoro has the dignity to kick them down the hill to Django at the very least, where him and several still awake pirates' mouths are gaping like fish. Hey really? Did it? Lackey number 12 stutters out. The Nyabin brothers have been defeated. Lackey number 13 cries in despair. Django grits his teeth, his limbs shaking from the anger or the fear, it is hard to tell. Zoro smirks at the disbelieving faces of enemies and allies alike. He is the first to move, gesturing to Oil. Hurry this up, we got places to be. Oil sighs, making their way down. Usopp's mouth is still on the floor when he regains his senses, while Nami and Luffy are honestly not surprised anymore. Oil makes a little paper bridge over the oil, like a gentleman putting his coat over a puddle. After you, they gesture to Zoro. Zoro puts away two of his swords, as he crosses the oil carefully. Here we go again. Nami makes her way down to the little bridge, patting Usopp on the shoulder. Come on, you can help me raid their ship, as she makes her way over. Usopp closes his mouth. Are right behind you, nodding to Oil as he runs over the paper trail. Django grits his teeth in anger. I have no choice now, he speaks under his breath. I'll hypnotize myself and finish this. Captain Kuro will be here soon. Only Luffy is the one to stop at the oil. Oil, you go first, and get rid of the paper. Oil obeys silently as the paper folds back, Luffy now being the only one at the top half of the hill. Right in time too. Actually, a voice coming from the direction of the village stops everyone. Your captain is already here. His voice is cold and all pirates, awake and passed out, start to shake in fear. There, at the top of the hill, is Captain Kuro himself, face and body screaming anger and murder. All the Black Cat and Straw Hat pirates are past the halfway point at the bottom, making Luffy the closest to the man. Django, Kuro's glasses cover his eyes but he can feel the mindless rage. Didn't I tell you all to meet me in the mansion? Django shakes in fear of his captain. Why yes but you see, we ran into a problem with these kids. A fierce scowl spreads across Kuro's face. So what? I expected you to take care of it. What I did not expect was that you fools would all be so damn useless, he shouts. This jumps Django back into action. He whips out another rein and faces Zoro. When I say, Django, you will fall asleep. Zoro looks at him like he is utterly bored. Sure, he walks towards him. The attitude does not do anything to help Django's nerves. 1, 2, Django, he yells triumphantly. Zoro lifts up his sword and slashes Django in the chest. Blood splatters from the wound as he falls to the ground. How? He manages before slipping under. I closed my eyes, Zoro says bluntly, it's not that hard. Kuro is struggling to rein in his temper. Useless. Every single one of them. He should have known better though. If you want something done. He adjusts his glasses palms up so as to not cut himself with the 5 katana to his fingers. You have to do it yourself. Luffy's hat shades his eyes but with just a small tilt of his head one eye shows through, dark and merciless. Hey, his voice rings out throughout the entire slope. Get your crew and leave, now. Pirates that are still pretending to be unconscious start to shiver. They are set on fire and taken out by boulders and really not in the mood to fight another battle. Or move. But hearing the commanding voice, they feel their bodies cringe at the authoritarian tone, begging them to leave. Gee guys, I think this plan is a bust. Lackey number 23 murmurs. Yeah. Lackey number 25 trails off. Let's just get out of here while we can. Klahadore straightens his cat claws. Oh no, none of you are going anywhere. He takes one step down the slope. No, all of you are going to die here today. His voice rings out to the entire cove as Captain Kuro sets his sights to kill his entire crew. Stop, but before that, all heads turn to the sound of distress as it is Kaya standing there in a trenchcoat. Shit, Oil whispers. You shouldn't sneak up on me, Kuro casually speaks, stretching his fingers and making his weapons clink together, unless you want to die. Kaya, what are you doing here? Usopp croaked out, looking up at her. Usopp, Kaya is shaking. Klahadore, he attacked Mary last night. I couldn't believe that he is really a pirate but... She draws her gaze from her ex-butler to Usopp, eyes getting wet. You knew? Never mind that, Usopp is trying to will himself between Kuro and Kaya as he takes a step in the oil. only to slip and almost fall. Why are you here? He goes on, Kaya, your life is in danger. But you're fighting, Kaya screams, tears threatening to fall. You have been fighting this whole time. Usopp pulls his slingshot back, taking aim at Kuro. Move one muscle and you get a face full of glass. She isn't supposed to be here. She is supposed to be far away and safe. Kuro suddenly speaks up. This is no place for a lady. Miss Kaya, please leave. Kaya's expression freezes before being replaced by rage. Please stop this, Klahadore. If you want my fortune, I'll give it all up. So please, leave this place, right now. Kuro's face looks mildly annoyed. I thank you for the offer, however, there's one other thing that I desire. He turns to her with a stupidly wishful look on his face. What I desire is the tranquility of my soul. Kaya never stops shaking but doesn't break eye contact as he continues speaking so ordinarily. I've spent 3 years to gain the trust of all the villagers, which made me feel unbelievably comfortable. I'd like to keep this sense of tranquility with me forever. Therefore, I must obtain this tranquility and your fortunes. His face hardens in an before. That means the pirates will attack this village. Then you will leave a will and die. These two terms are, his face is not bloodthirsty or maliceful, just peaceful, absolutely necessary. Kaya pulls a pistol from her coat and points it at Kuro. Usopp is only being held back by a stronger Zoro. Run, anything you say to him is useless. Run? He's not Klahadore. Oil, make the bridge again. Oil hesitates. I should not. The chances of Usopp having any effect on Kuro in close combat is 8%. Him staying far away increases to 45% and keeps him safer. However, Kaya's presence will only hinder their plan and those around her despite her good intentions. If she knows she is of no use, what's the point of fighting? If she knows what is going on, then why? Zoro is the one to talk sense. If you go up there you are as good as dead. But Usopp won't listen. I don't care, he croaks, refusing to cry. I don't care if I'm weak. I'll protect her, I will protect them. Everyone stares at him as the tears suddenly come back to his eyes, tears that he wasn't ashamed of hiding here. I'm captain of the Usopp Pirates, he declares, a brave warrior of the sea who fights for what he holds dear. I will protect everyone in the village even if it kills me. His voice grows stronger and he screams out with as much strength he could muster, on my word. You will never set foot in this village. Luffy likes to think he can be totally subtle. Like how he subtly sends another wave of haki to the Black Cat Pirates. A simple message saying, if you dare laugh at Usopp, I will kill you all so slowly you will feel every drop of blood draining from your body. Not a single one of them dares to laugh as they choke on their tongues. Usopp. It's okay. Kaya yells, not taking her eyes off her target. You're right. He's not Klahadore. Usopp stops struggling in Zoro's arms. Kaya, she continues with a newly found iron in her voice. Klahadore, leave this village. Kuro sighs as he lifts his glasses up in that achingly familiar way Kaya is so used to. Oh, you're actually pointing a gun at me. Leave now. She tries to stay strong. But, he still looks so much like Klahadore. He looks so much like the man she looked up to for guidance. So that's how it is. He takes one step to her. You've grown a lot these past 3 years, Miss Kaya. He lifts his cat claws in the air. Do you still remember? Many things have happened in these past 3 years. Since the time when you'd always lay in bed, crying for your parents who passed away. It's really been quite a while. A long time. I still remember the sorrowful and joyful days we spent together. Kate Klahadore. She is losing her strength, gun shaking in her hand. We went shopping together. I nursed you when you had fevers. You were so happy listening to anything I'd say. I gave my all for you. I have always, yes, always endured it. He speaks with such a terribly gentle look on his face that Kaya feels her eyes water again. Why does it have to be this way? Just like that, Kuro is right in front of her, gun in his hand. Yes, everything was so that I can kill you today. Kaya loses her breath, tears finally running down her face at his merciless confession. I, formerly known as Captain Kuro, had to keep a smile for a little girl whose nose always sniffled. Each word is a dagger into her heart. No matter how much I hated it, I tried hard to make you happy. Usopp gets his slingshot out again. Bastard. Even Nami grabs her staff. This guy. She doesn't like where this is headed. With each word coming out of his mouth, he is starting to sound too much like another pirate who abuses those around him. Kuro takes no notice, lost in his tangent. Can you imagine my humiliation of those days? Can you imagine me, the former Captain Kuro, doing such things? Usopp lets go. Shatter Star. It's a dirty trick. He knows that Kaya wouldn't be able to forget all those memories so easily. He's trying to make her second guess herself. He is fucking toying with her. Kuro lifts his swords to his face at lightning speed, catching each bullet between his swords, only an inch from his face. Revenge. Usopp? I won't let you. Any attempt at a threat is ended by Luffy punching him in the face, sending him to the ground. If you hate getting hit, Luffy cracks his knuckles, then you are in for a bad day. The Black Cat Pirates are freaking out as they stare at Luffy, who so unashamedly punched their captain in the face. Oh, he is just getting started. and with everyone's attention focused on him, no one really notices a certain thief doing her job. Strange, Oil whispers. Luffy's memories did not give a good indication of time, so who knows how long the battles were in the journal, but she was so sure that Kaya would not be able to find them. She and Usopp made sure of that last night when Usopp, pirates are here, die you bastard, you ingrate butler. At that moment 3 children come from the forest background, armed to the teeth with a shovel, a baseball bat, and a frying pan. While Kuro is down they take a few crack shots at him. The Black Cap pirates fear for their own lives, not that their captain would get hurt, but that he is even more annoyed by some brats now. Usopp screams out desperately, "Stop, stop, what you are doing?" Kaya turns her head as well, "How did you all get here?" Carrot stops beating the pirate with his frying pan long enough to answer, "We're sorry, Captain. We tried to find her quick like in your letter. But she got past us." Kaya's mind screams, "Letter?" Oil coughs. "Yeah," Pepper adds, "the one that said to keep you away from the cliffs." Usopp recalls the letter that Oil had him draft last night in order to secure Kaya's safety. Guess that plan didn't pan out. New orders, I'll give the most important task you right now and it is absolutely critical you succeed. All 3 stand in direct attention. Take Kaya and get away from here. The 3 boys now stand in confusion as do many others. Kuro especially overseeing Usopp as he gets up from his lying position, without a notable scratch to be seen. But there is no room for argument in Usopp's voice. "You must keep her safe. This is the reason we wanted to become pirates, to protect what we cherish the most as men. Now go." He finally yells out, "That's a direct order." The Usopp pirates salute, tears in their eyes they cry out, "Yes, Captain," as they politely grab Kaya by the hand and start leading her away from the fray. Kuro, being a bastard, could not let the girl whom he betrayed so thoroughly get away. "Oh no you don't, you will sign the will and..." But before he can do anything there is a shot to his head, one that actually hits its target. He recovers fast to see Usopp holding his slingshot proudly, not backing away from his gaze. "If you want to fight someone then fight me. I will deal with you quickly, you annoyance," Kuro snarls, turning his attention back to the cliff, ready to make his kill. The only thing in his way, the most damnedest thing that ruins his oh-so-perfect plan, is that brat in the straw hat. Usopp. Luffy's back is facing all of them as he stands his ground at the descending before Kuro, his straw hat casting a thick shadow over his eyes. "This is your fight." His voice echoes all throughout the cove, "But I really want to kick this guy's ass, do you mind?" He is actually asking for permission to fight. Usopp really doesn't want to rely on others to fight his fight. On one hand, it would be admitting his own weakness, not being able to do anything. It hurts his pride knowing how useless he is, having to ask for someone stronger than him to help. But on another hand, he never felt so relieved, which is even more frustrating. All he wants is Kaya and his village to be safe, and he knows for a fact that when Luffy promises something he will fulfill it. That is just the kind of guy he is. So if that means swallowing his pride to ensure that, well, then it isn't a question at all. "Yeah," he says softly, at first still lifted, the next moment punching his fist in the air. "Kick his ass, Luffy." If he is going to rely on Luffy, he is sure as hell going to cheer him on. Kuro sneers at the interaction, disgust written all over his face. Enough of this, he has his sights on Luffy. "I will handle you first," and like that he is gone. Luffy can actually see what he is doing, despite being invisible to everybody else, moving as fast as he was, but Luffy is easily able to follow his movement. Hell, he was able to do it last time, this time it is almost sad. He is just giving a sloppy version of shave. He aims right in front of Luffy with a forward slash. Luffy drops back, landing on his hands, leaving his feet right in the air. Gum gum. Right in Kuro's face, spear. Kuro reappears back several feet away, looking a little worse for wear, but he is exactly where Luffy wanted him. Luffy wants him as far away from the bottom of the cliff and his crew as possible. So he is getting through with this fight at the top of the cliff. Luffy's hands spring himself to Kuro's location, landing perfectly on his feet. Kuro is on high alert. He wasn't expecting such a foe who could match him in speed. He needs to buy some time to learn his enemy. "Before I kill you, I feel compelled to ask, what is an outsider like you butting into this village's business for?" Kuro demands. Luffy smirks, "Because there is a man here who I want to help live out his dream." Usopp blinks, "Does he mean me?" Oil takes out their journal, taking note of how long it should take Luffy to finish destroying this man. That is a logical conclusion. Who else would he mean? Zoro gives a teasing smile. "He has been fighting to help you this whole time, idiot." Usopp's lip quivers at the thought. Kuro gives a cruel chuckle. "Are you really okay with that? After all, it's your reason for dying." "Sure am," Luffy answers confidently, "but I'm not gonna die." Kuro smirks, a foolish notice. This time he disappears right in front of Luffy only to reappear right behind him. Luffy holds back a yawn, putting his hand out and grabbing the man's wrist right before he could even touch him, slamming him to the floor. Kuro loses his composure. "Why you?" he yells, quickly getting up and trying to slash the man in a head-on collision. If surprise attacks don't seem to work, then overwhelming him is the way to go. Luffy barely moves, with each attack missing his body by mere millimeters. Kuro strikes more and more wildly each time, but nothing seems to hit the teen. What is left of his conscious crew along with the Straw Hats watches as Luffy humiliates Kuro more and more with each passing second. Nami's mouth hangs open. This is insane, she is really working with monsters. Zoro's dimpled grin is wide and merciless. Yeah, this is awesome. He turns to her after a thought. Wait, when did you get here? She shrugs, I just finished raiding their ship. She pats to a huge bag that no one seemed to notice till now. None of them even noticed as I got on their ship and left, but it wasn't much. So disappointing from a pirate crew. Oil closes her journal. This should end soon. How are you feeling by the way? Kaya hugs her coat closer. Better, I suppose. Usopp smiles nonchalantly. That's goo. Wait, what are you doing here? Until it sinks in that Kaya should really not be here. In fact, it should have been impossible. And you three, along with his small crew of children pirates. Kaya gives a small smile. I didn't want to go, so the kids took me around the back to the cliffs where Miss Oil made me a ladder. She gestures to the paper ladder that is embedded to the side of the cliff. You said to protect her and we thought that here would be best, carrot reasons. Yeah, you already took out the fake pirates and Miss Kaya would be safer with the good pirates, Pepper explains. And we didn't want to miss out on the action, Onion admits. Usopp's mouth is on the floor but he closes it, turning to Oil. Why would you do that? It seemed logical, they answer in monotone. They're impossible. He turns back to his crew. We are going to have a serious talk about following orders. He scolds the three as their heads drop. But I have to admit your bravery and decision skills are excellent, just what I expect from my crew. The three immediately peck up at the praise, but seriously, he turns to Kaya. Are you okay? Kaya straightens her back looking up the hill. No, her eyes are wet but determined, but I have to see this through. Usopp doesn't like it but he knows this is important to her. Okay, this is her closure. The man she thought she knew and thought she could trust was all an illusion of some master plan. She wants to see who he really is, so she watches unflinchingly as this man gets his ass whooped. The Black Cat pirates see the futility of their captain's attempts and try to cheer him on. That Straw Hat guy is definitely not as strong as Captain Kuro. Kill him, Captain. Banzai, Captain. Banzai, Captain Kuro, Captain Kuro, Captain Kuro. Kuro stops his struggling, directing his frustrations on his former crew. Don't call me by that name, shutting them up completely. You still don't get it, do you? He is on a rant now. For this is my plan to succeed. I need to completely be rid of the name, Captain Kuro. I am sick and tired being relentlessly pursued by bounty hunters and government dogs. I am sick and tired of planning everything for you reckless morons. He turns back into a professionally cold butler, and so, once today's plan succeeds, I will have achieved my goal. I will have money and a tranquil life. He looks at them like a man looks at a bug, and that means exterminating every single one of you. The lackeys finally start to understand his message. What? You want to kill us? Don't kid us around like that, Captain Kuro. They try to reason with their bloodthirsty captain. Yeah, if we were to attack the village now, it still shouldn't be too late. Hope is growing that they would be spared. Besides, as long as Captain Django gets that girl to write the will, the plan will be complete. You don't need to worry about the plan anymore. Kuro crushes those hopes quickly. As long as your bodies are here, I can prove my innocence. He grows a wicked grin. I never planned to have you guys leave this village in the first place. It would have been troublesome after all. No one who knows my true identity can be allowed to live to tell about it. What a bastard, Zoro growls. Damn it, why doesn't Luffy hurry and beat this guy already? You had already planned to kill every last one of us from the very beginning, Lackey number 8 cried out. He chuckles darkly again, obviously not even pretending to sound remorseful. 3 years ago, I planned to erase Captain Kuro, and every last person who ever knew him. It's all part of my plan. Luffy is getting tired of this guy's bitching, and apparently, he is not the only one. Illogical. Kuro twitches an eye. What? Oil sighs. Your contradictions were piling up so high I feel compelled to say something. A pirate's life entails being constantly on the run. They unknowingly uses the tone that one uses when explaining something simple to a child. Every job has risks and it would seem to be that you did not evaluate those options carefully enough, leading to your current dissatisfaction. If you took into account all of the variables, perhaps you would be better at making plans. You could hear a needle drop at the silence that follows. No one, and I mean, no one ever spoke to Captain Kuro man with 1,000 plans like that. The entire cove is silent. Black Cat pirates shocked that someone would say something like that to Captain Kuro of 1,000 plans, and Straw Hats and company not thinking she had it in her to say something like that. The silence is broken by laughter. She. Well said, Oil. Luffy clutches his stomach. Kuro is nowhere near amused. Once I am done with him I shall take my time with you, his voicer. Oil's neutral voice does not change. Doubt. Kuro lunges for Luffy, taking advantage of his laughing as a distraction. My plan will not be disrupted by an urchin like you. Well, now he is just being rude, Usopp snaps hotly. Luffy grabs his swords at their base. as all 5 are a centimeter from his face. If you want to talk about which one our ambitions are bigger, your plans are my dreams. He looks Kuro right in the eye as he couldn't move his in an inch in Luffy's ironclad grip. Then mine is bigger, and he snaps all 5 swords like they were twigs. He broke them. Usopp screams out, 5 down and 5 to go. Nami claps her hands. Kaya shouts, go Mr. Luffy. But Luffy is taking his time, drawing the hand back slowly. You know what, if you don't want a reputation, and with a controlled amount of strength. A fuck ton, punches Kuro's right in the face as he screamed, then don't be a pirate. Well said, Zoro nods. Oil is right, you are dumb, Luffy states simply, the dumbest pirate, I know, and that is saying something. He knows Split Head personally and at least that guy knows how to run a crew. Dumb, huh? Any professionalism, whether real or not, is gone in place of insane anger. A pirate crew is merely a bunch of dogs which aren't fit to live in a civilized society. Without my plans, what could they possibly accomplish? It's always been my plans that they follow, just pawns at a captain's disposal. A simple means to an end. Illogical excuses, Oil murmurs not so quietly to themselves. Zoro overhears anyway, you're right though. While it is a crew's duty is to obey the captain, it is also the captain's duty to be in charge of taking care of the crew as well. Oil finds themselves saddened, but in a weird way about Kuro. Perhaps this is disappointment. It seems like a logical thing to feel. They had expectations that perhaps the second most intelligent man in the East Blue, according to her calculations, would be an interesting character when met with different odds. But no, his only purpose is the benefit of Usopp. Hopefully defeating this pirate will help his self-confidence. Still, the only use for this man is a tool to make their sniper stronger. He isn't even worth a trip to the marine station to be turned in. Yes, disappointing is the right word. Luffy watches him silently, egging on Kuro to continue his rant. Whether they live or die, it's all up to me. If I tell them to fight, they will fight. And if I order them to die, they had better do it. They know the punishment for disobedience. He grins at his insane logic, but Luffy still has that empty look on his face. Oil has seen that look before. He is looking at Kuro like how Ace looked at the nobles in Goa. Disgust, anger, a bit of pity, but there is not a trace of mercy. Even if Kuro begged for forgiveness, Luffy would never forget this. Kuro must have sensed this as well because his face suddenly turns into fury and outrage as he bellows out, this is the fate of pirates. Don't you dare lecture me, boy. But Luffy didn't even say a word, Usopp says. He didn't need to, Nami answers. She knows that look. That is a look she had to deal with every day in her life growing up. Just looking at that lowlife was enough to get the message across, Zoro agrees. Oil studies them intensely, fascinating. Luffy's ability to express emotions beyond the use of words is awe-inspiring. Only Kaya remains silent throughout it all. So this is who Klahadore really is. This is Captain Kuro. But suddenly Luffy smiles. Even if a captain like you had tens of thousands of men following your command, he looks him right in the eye, you will never be as good as Usopp. In any other situation Kuro would laugh his ass off, but he is in no mood to laugh. You are a bigger fool than I thought. He snarls, sounding more like an animal than a human. Are you saying that I'm inferior to a kid pretending to be a pirate? That's right, Luffy doesn't have a shred of doubt in his voice. Thanks, Luffy, Usopp whispers. Nobody has ever stood up for him like that before. But here is Luffy acknowledging him as a pirate. Hell, as a captain. Those words mean more to him than anything. Don't get cocky just because you snapped off one of my cat claws. He does his shitty shave to appear behind Luffy. How exactly is he better than me? He demands despite aiming to kill, tell me. Luffy grins his stupid smile, not even bothering to look back, it's the way you think. Kuro hesitates, what? And that was his biggest mistake. Luffy stretches his fist behind him, a guy like you. To slam right into Kuro's head, doesn't know what it means to be a true pirate. Kuro slams into the wall making a large indent, only to fall down barely standing. Luffy would be impressed if he didn't know how much he was holding back. You insult me. He touches his head. You want to know what a true pirate is supposed to be, then let me show you. The terror of a true pirate. Kuro jumps back and tries to calm himself, starting to sway back and forth. Luffy lifts an eyebrow, so now Kuro is going to do a proper version of shave? Really? It is almost worse considering it gives the dude tunnel vision, not being able to see who he was attacking. His lackeys are not as calm about this change in development. We're within range too. Is he going to kill us too? Didn't he say that earlier? Please stop, Captain Kuro. Don't do it, we'll do anything you want. Shikushi. And like that he is gone. The Straw Hats and company only watch in confusion, while the pirates are utterly terrified. What is going on? Nami looks to see the despairing pirates. Zoro shrugs, something stupid I'm sure. Oil agrees, for once, Zoro, you are right. What's that supposed to mean? Zoro snaps his head at her. Usopp sags his shoulders, is this really the time to be bickering? Luffy watches with faint interest as Kuro attacks at random, leaving large gashes in his way. It is horrifying to anyone seeing these deep stab marks appear out of nowhere. But still, average shave or not, he could have the chance to shave through the oil and attack one of his own crew. Might as well intervene. Luffy reaches out an arm and pulls the man out of his bloodthirsty haze. He looks right into the horrified eyes of Captain Kuro. Too slow, and with that Luffy slams the captain to the floor. But this time, Luffy doesn't let up. What do you think crew members are? His voice is cold and demanding. It is a captain's job to protect their crew with everything they are. A good captain protects his crew. A good captain would make sure his crew lives to see their dreams. A good captain should never be the last one to be left fucking alive. Nami doesn't understand it at all. What kind of pirate would put their crew's safety over their own, let alone defend the name of an enemy's pirate's crew? If anything, Kuro has been talking about the pirates she has been used to. They're selfish, bloodthirsty murderers. Pirates are not supposed to be like Luffy. Nami really doesn't know who Monkey D. Luffy is, what he is. Kuro tries to get up but he is having no luck, barely getting on one knee. You should have let me kill them. Kuro spats, trying to regain his composure. They are completely useless pawns. They are better off dead. Nothing dead is useful. This time Oil does whisper. They're words for their ears only. Death is the absence of use. Dead does nothing for about millennia. Luffy grabs Kuro by the back of his head, making Kuro look him right in his eyes. Eyes that were too old for a face so young. You could have done it, he says honestly, made it big, you know. Go to the Grand Line, perfect shave. Having that in paradise would have helped in the long run, trust me. His voice is soft and compassionless. Hell, could have gotten a stronger crew there too. Even better his own, but you are just so lazy that you stopped in the East Blue, the sea with the least amount of competition, or bounty hunters, or marine bases. And Let IE gives a tired sigh. I hate to say it, but you played yourself. Kuro wants to yell. He wants to curse and scream at this pirate until there is nothing in his vocabulary left. But his jaw is in an iron lock, refusing to move as he grinds his teeth together. Luffy gets the message across, shrugging. You wanted pawns, you got pawns. Bottom line is, you suck at being a pirate. No wonder you're a quitter. He pauses, studying Kuro for a moment. You see those four? He points to his crew, forcing Kuro's head in said direction. They were able to hold back your entire crew. He locks eyes with Kuro, and I found them all in a week. Zoro's chest swells with pride, glad that he could have been of use this time. Nami tries not to preen herself under the praise, but it is nice to be noticed. Usopp takes his signature captain posture for once, not having to fake his proud smile, while Oil has a faint blush dusting their face. Luffy chuckles in amusement but turns back to seriousness at his adversary. But you, Captain Kuro, Luffy spits the word captain like a curse, or a really shitty captain. No pirate worth his name harms his nakama. Kuro, filled with an undying rage, finally spits out, all pirates are the same. Luffy shakes his head. I will never be like you, not in the first life, not in this one. Not will, Kuro sneers, trying to regain some dignity. Someone like you can't be like me. Luffy smiles. Thanks. Kuro glares at Luffy. His head may be immovable, but he still has his other hand. Till Luffy just grabs his sword at lightning speed despite the closeness. Usopp may be a liar. He breaks the other 5 swords, but you're full of shit, and drops them to the floor. Kuro, for the first time in his life, has no idea what to do. Mr. Luffy. A call came down the hill. Miss Oil, if you would please. Kaya politely gestures to the slope as Oil silently made her a paper bridge over the oil. Kaya quickly and confidently walks across the oil to the pair, dropping in front of Kuro. No one dares stop her or ask her what she is doing. Klahadore, Kaya looks the man she admired so much right in the eyes, though he glares back, face unreadable. Was this really the man who cared for her all these years? Did he really feel nothing but contentment for her and everyone of this island? Was he really this cold-hearted? What were lies and what was true at this point? But at the same time, none of that really matters at this point, does it? You're fired. Luffy barks out a laugh. Wow, Butler man. Your life really sucks now, doesn't it? He laughs at the utterly dumbfounded look on Kuro's face. Your plan of 3 years is a complete and total failure. Couldn't have said it better myself, Usopp says, grinning from ear to ear. Kaya agrees. Please continue, Mr. Luffy. Go Luffy. Kick his ass. Show that Butler who's boss. 3 excitable children cheer on. Luffy stretches his head back. Gum gum, my plan, Kuro shouts. Bell. But Luffy headbutts the sucker right in the face before he could say any more. It is through that last bong that actually did sound like a deep bell ringing. Everyone knows the fight is over. Or rather a one-sided beatdown than an actual fight. The butler is out cold before his shattered glasses even hit the ground. Kuro lies there, bleeding from the head, his eyes rolled all the way back so they could only see white. He is going to be feeling that on in the morning. Zoro smirks, making his way to his captain. If he could have done that from the start, it would have saved his time. Nami follows carrying her gold. Come on, Nami, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as satisfying if he was taken out with one punch, Usopp, along with a group of 3 awestruck children in tow. Oil recedes the bridge as they come last. The result would have lost 79% of its effect if it was one punch. I calculated this was the best form of revenge. The Black Cat pirates are left at the bottom of the cove in utter shock. That crazy rubber guy beat Captain Kuro. A lackey comments, even the Marines weren't a match for Kuro, man of 1,000 plans. Another lackey yells in disbelief. And this guy still beat him. Luffy makes a disbelieving noise. I would never lose to some coward who ditches his name, betrays his crew, and runs from his life on the sea. He scoffs, I didn't even to take off my hat this entire fight. The pirates feel their fears slowly rise as they take in the sight before them. Who the hell are you? A soul brave lackey asks. Luffy turns to face them, looking very dramatic and cool with his crew on both his sides. I'm Monkey D. Luffy. The Black Cat pirates look at one another. Luffy? Never heard that name before. Is he a rookie? You should remember my name for the rest of your lives. Luffy explains as he grins his rubbery grin. Cause I'm gonna be king of the pirates. The pirates stare at him just as Luffy picks Kuro up by his collar ready to throw him down the hill. Excuse me for a moment. Oil interrupts as they walk up to the unconscious man himself. Luffy lifts him up for her as she slips a card into his pocket, 2 of hearts. With that done, Luffy proceeds to throw him down the hill. Now get out of here, he commands as Kuro landed at their feet, and don't come back. Or else you'll have hell to pay, Usopp shouts with him, almost believing he could take them on as well. The pirates don't have to be told twice as they run back to their ship in a mad panic, dragging Kuro with them, more out of orders than loyalty, quickly boarding, and in less than a minute they're already sailing away. I can't believe they took him with them, Nami points out. Zoro shrugs, Kuro may be a crap captain but they must be a crap crew if they need him that badly. But, Usopp looks down the slope. Why did they leave him? He points to the sole member of the Black Cat pirates that was still present and unconsciously on the ground. Oh, Oil pipes up, that would be me. Nami narrows her eyes, what did you do? I put a do not disturb card on his chest, Oil explains, and a card. No one could tell if she is joking. You're kidding me. Nami hopes with all her might they're kidding, right? No one can be that stupid. Usopp gives a weary sigh. The heights of stupidly just rise every single day. How are normal stupid people supposed to compete? That's not something to compete for. Nami goes into her shark face mode. Don't worry, Nami, Oil reassures her. I have my plans with Mushroom Man. It will all be fascinating. Nami gives up. That's exactly what I'm worried about. The last thing this kid needs is the power of mind control. Usopp tilts his head. Mushroom Man? Yes, the man with the mushroom, Oil answers. It is a silly story and they have no idea how in all of space and time Luffy could have known this information, but it is in the contract so it can't be false. See, here is the stem. Usopp absolutely 100% does not scream like a baby at the sight of the striped handle. Did you cut off his chin? No, Oil puts the stem in their pocket. I told you it is a mushroom. That does not calm Usopp's nerves at all. Why do you have it? Why would anyone bother cutting off something as gross as a mushroom growing on a guy's beard? I wanted it. Oil gives the simplest explanation they could. They have plans for it, that should be reason enough. Usopp gives up right next to Nami. He is never going to understand this kid, is he? Doesn't he have a name? Luffy asks. He doesn't really care himself about the guy. He was trying to help in Kaya's assassination after all. I don't care, Oil explains. Luffy grins contentedly. I'm sure it will fine. You don't mind, do you, Kaya? Kaya widens her eyes at being addressed. I suppose not if you think nothing bad will happen. She doesn't like the idea of a pirate being on their island, but at the same time she doesn't want to hinder whatever their plans are. Oil bows. Thank you. I promise you, nothing negative we or you. Then they turn to the veggie trio whispering, I have plans for you as well. The 3 shiver at the comment. Usopp coughs, interrupting them all. Well, now that all is well and done, I have your new orders. The Usopp pirates stand at attention ready to follow their brave leader. Keep everything that happened here a secret. While everyone is surprised at the command, the veggie trio are the ones to express their annoyance. A secret? Why should we do such a thing? They don't understand why their brave captain would deny getting the credit he so rightfully deserves. Yeah. You all fought with your eaves to protect the village. Captain, everyone would look at you differently. You'll become our village's hero. Yeah, that's right. Even Kaya speaks up. Usopp, you should let the village know. You deserve to be a hero. The brave hero that she always knew he was. Usopp shakes his head. Nah, they just think that I'm lying like usual. There's no point in telling them things of the past. That would only create panic. How maturely he is handling the situation is astounding. Anyone else was sure to brag about this but Usopp. Besides, this was a one-time special situation. There shouldn't be any more pirates that'd want to attack this secluded village ever again. So let's just pretend as if nothing's happened. Luffy is surprised yet again by Usopp and just how selfless he can be when it comes to his friends. Oh, he knew Usopp would do anything for them. But it is always nice to be reminded after so long. Instead of taking the chance to brag about his accomplishments, he brushes them off just to keep the peace of his village. Zoro is impressed by Usopp's will to fight for his village, but now this was cementing his place in the crew. He really is an honorable guy, someone Zoro is proud to fight beside. Nami finds herself fidgeting a little. Someone taking on the burden for the village, not wanting anyone to know. Now, I won't force you. No, I'll do it, if it's best for the village. Carrot suddenly yells, me, too. Pepper agrees. He is going to protect the village too, me 3. I won't say a word. Onion finishes as all of them vow. We will never say anything about this ever again. Usopp smiles, glad for the positive response. Kaya, what do you say? She returns the smile. Say about what? Meat, 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 meat. Luffy, you're going to eat her out of house and home. It's fine, Miss Nami, really. Kaya, you can call me Nami, I told you. And don't let him get away with that. He can eat a sea king if you let him. Luffy continues to shovel down food, politely, in Kaya's mansion after she invited them back to her home. She is already looking better than she has in ages. She gladly asked the Straw Hats to live in her home for the past couple of days as she took care of Mary's wounds. At the moment they are in the living area while Usopp went out back with his crew, talking about something. Oil thought it best to give the group some privacy as Usopp disbands his pirate group. Even if they're kids just playing, their connection with one another, their bonds are deep and should be respected. Speaking of which, Kaya looks up from Mary's now bandaged arm. Yes, what do you need, Ms. Oil? I was wondering if you have any books about poisons? Kaya cocks her head to the side. Yes, I think we have something like that in our library. She stands up. If you would please follow me. She gets up, leaving the room with Oil, leaving behind Luffy, Nami, and a sleeping Zoro. Nami turns to the door. I wonder what that is about. Luffy shrugs, being careful not to choke on a fishbone. Don't know, don't care. Oil is probably going to make other plans for something or another. Nami sighs but relents to a small smile, deciding to say what she has been wanting to get off of her chest. You did. Good, Luffy, she says softly, but I had to ask. Why were you so mad earlier? About Kuro and his crew. Luffy doesn't say a word as he swallows his food, staring blankly at nothing with a dark look in his eyes, as if trying to figure out a difficult question. Luffy's eyes look at her as he calmly answers, I truly hate people like them. He falls silent for a moment before he adds, Nakama aren't meant to be treated that way. Nami chooses her words carefully, of course not, but most pirates aren't the brave, honorable people you make them out to be. I'd say that Captain Kuro is pretty standard. Then I'll just change the standard. Nami blinks. What? You're right, most pirates are like that. Luffy has a fire in his black eyes, but not all, and especially not in the Grand Line. He takes a pause as if coming to a decision. Out there, you can't make it on your own. You have to be able to trust your crew completely. Here pirates take advantage of being able to get replacement. But nobody is replaceable in a Nakama. Not now, not ever. Nami's mouth hangs open a little, not knowing what to say. He sounds so old. Like he knows exactly what he is talking about, despite the fact he was almost choking on a fishbone mere minutes ago. She has to say something. Hey, guys, Usopp might as well have slammed the door by the jump Nami gave. I just finished wrapping things up with my ex-crew. His eyes are still a little watery, but I think they are going to be just fine. Luffy gives a big smile. All traces of age gone. Glad to hear it, Usopp. Zoro, totally forgotten in the background, opens an eye. So I take it you're free to officially join then? Ah, so you guys were serious about that? Usopp didn't want to get his hopes up, but I want to thank you guys. Usopp tells them all. I wouldn't have been able to protect the village without you. Luffy just smiles. No problem. Zoro looks up. Give credit where credit is due. If you had just stood back and done nothing, I wouldn't have done anything either. What can I say? Nami asks happily, tapping the bag of loot that is right next to her with her foot. I've got my hands on this sweet treasure now, and I couldn't be happier. Kaya and Oil come back, a book of poisons in their hand. Usopp, Kaya's face brightens as she sees him. Are you here for some food as well? I have an announcement to make actually. Usopp works up all the courage he has before speaking. Despite just meeting Luffy, he feels like he has always known him in a way. Luffy is just so open and inviting about himself, and Usopp found that he could recuperate, not being afraid to let his guard down around the other teen. He can already tell Luffy can simultaneously act like he has an old soul and still has the personality of a little kid, in the way he also acts in extreme. He can either be extremely greedy, like with food, or his crew, or going on adventures. But other times he becomes extremely selfless, sacrificing himself, going to great lengths to achieve something, even swallowing his pride, all in the name of his Nakama or anyone he would consider a friend. He doesn't want to always have to rely on Luffy for everything despite his weakness. He wants to get stronger, not even for his own sake anymore, but to support his captain for once. He always wished that he could become stronger, and he feels like he has in a way, but he knows he still has a long way to go before he could be considered a threat like Luffy or Zoro. But that doesn't mean he is not prepared to try. For the longest time I have been dreaming about becoming a pirate, Usopp confesses. I love the village and everyone in it, so I never build up the courage to leave. But I still wanted to go out to sea. He has all their attention. It wasn't until I met you four did I really become inspired to set out on my own. And now I won't be on my own either. Usopp's face shines like a star. I, ex-captain Usopp of the Usopp Pirates, humbly and proudly accept your request to join your crew. The only thing to match Usopp's smile is Luffy's own, like you ever had a choice. Usopp slumps a bit but smiled. Dinion, I was trying to make it special. Oil bows, welcome aboard. I figured that you might do this. The sadness in Kaya's eyes flashes over her face before she forces a pleasant smile in its stead. She isn't going to let her own feelings stop Usopp's dreams, no matter how much she is going to miss him. Yeah, now that we've eaten, Zoro picks himself up, we should probably get going. It's going to cramp with 5 on our dinghy, Nami mutters. Actually, Kaya speaks up, her eyes proud but a little misty. You've all done so much for me and I can't thank you enough. I have prepared a present for you from the bottom of my heart to show how grateful I am for everything you've done here. I'd be honored if you accept it. This is it. Luffy's mind is running 100 miles per hour. This is it. This is it. This is it. What is it? Nami asks interestedly, but Kaya simply gestures them to follow her out the door and down the road to the same place where they fought the Black Cat pirates. Where Mary is standing. He looks better than before after a few days of recovery with just a patch on his forehead. His hair is curly like a lamb's fleece and even 2 lamb horns stick out of it. Oh, Oil made a beeline right in front of him, uncharacteristically bold. Which tribe are you from? Mary steps back a bit. What? Your tribe, Oil stresses. Your horns suggest that you are part of a human demonic tribe, am I correct? Demonic? Mary stutters. I am not a demon, haha. Oh, Oil. Nami flings a shoulder against Oil's shoulder. You are such a kidder. Incorrect, I am quite serious about my question. Oil turns back to Mary. If you are not part of a tribe, then why do you have horns? Oil? Nami asks in that sickening sweet voice of hers. Yes. Oil answers unabashedly. You can't just ask people why they have horns. I like to think it is a legitimate question. Nami sighs. They are probably not even real. See, she gives a tug on Mary's horn. Ow. He slaps her hand away like a gentleman, which was very impressive. Stop that nonsense. They are real, Nami says numbly. I'm sorry. She bows lowly to Mary. Why do I feel you are not apologizing for what you should be sorry for? Usopp mutters. Luffy laughs. You sure hire some interesting people, Kaya. Oil's shoulders sag. Disappointment. Luffy is trying his damnedest not to run full sprint towards his new and old home. She is actually like he remembers her. No, even better, she is perfect. She is real. She is. The going Mary. Mary introduces her to her new crew. Although it is somewhat old-fashioned, I was the one who designed it. A small caravel is sitting there waiting for them, about half the size of the Sunny, and carries a sheep figurehead. Zoro gives a low whistle. A carvel. Mary goes into an explanation. The ship's frame and its triple mast sails are all part of a stern-centered control system. He gestures to Luffy, who only meets him with a vacant stare. Let me brief you on how to operate it. First, how to turn it on and adjust the power. Nami waves a hand in front of him. No, you only need to tell me how to operate the ship. Usopp sets up next to her. Me too. I'll have you know that I am quite the repairman myself, so much so they call me the handyman master. Luffy has to stop himself from jumping on Mary's head right then and now. His captain's seat, the figurehead is so cool. Luffy grabs Kaya's hands. Thank you. Thank you so much for Mary. He never got to say it the first time, but this time he made sure to use those 2 lessons in manners Makino gave him to their utmost use, to show his gratitude for his new nakama. Kaya's smile grows. I'm so glad you approve. I prepared everything that's needed to set sail aboard the ship. Geez, why can't you be that polite all the time? Nami asks, trying to sound annoyed but coming off as teasing. Luffy snickers, finally letting loose and springing himself right onto Mary's head. Hi, Mary. It's good to see you again. He doesn't know if she can hear him yet, if her Klabouterman is like present. Whatever, what matters is that she is here. Oil makes their way to Kaya for one last thing. Here you go, holding out a parting gift. Kaya takes it immediately. A letter? What is this for? You will know eventually, Oil explains, being as cryptic as possible. Kaya blinks a bit but gives a genuine smile. I'm sure I will. And just like that, the rest of the Straw Hat Pirates boards their new home and unknowing their second newest nakama. The Going Merry sails till Gecko Island is just a speck in the distance, leaving behind a disbanded crew of dreamers and a girl fighting to follow her own path. Luffy goes to the cellar to get what is absolutely necessary for a party. Booze. He isn't much of a drinker. Nothing like Zoro or Nami, but even he knows you can't have a proper celebration without a kanpai. To our new ship and a new nakama, Luffy holds out a glass. Oil stares at it. What is this for? They take the brown liquid out of politeness, but were they to drink it? Luffy gestures to his mug. You are supposed to hit it. Instructions done. 4 other glasses hit each other, slipping booze uncaringly to the side. Kanpai. Crash. Okay, next time not that hard. Oil. Hidden. Background characters. Ito Mikio, born in Yokohama, Kanagawa Prefecture on March 26, 1973. Manga writer for the magazine Weekly Shonen Jump. Printed on various bounty posters through certain early areas of East Blue. Depicted as a smiling man with a gun in his hand, his bounty is known as 1 million. His name is also written on the grog bottle Shanks offers to Higuma. He can be seen in a wanted poster in the bar when Luffy is talking to Ben Beckman. Pandaman he is, so far, the most notable characters of this universe, having appeared hidden in nearly every corner of existence. Pandaman is said to be in love with Pandawoman, but it is unknown if the relationship is mutual. Pandaman, unfortunately, is also constantly on the run from Tomato Gang, a debt collector to whom Pandaman owes money. Pandaman's greatest rival, Unforgivable Mask, is hired by Tomato Gang to track Pandaman down and retrieve the money he owes Tomato Gang. Pandaman has a strength of 3,333,333 power, after eating bamboo and before meals. Pandaman used to be a rich guy living on a certain island until he got into some trouble. Pandaman made his first appearance when Jin first showed up in the Bharati. He was also a prisoner in level 5 of Impel Down, and can be seen in a list Bentham, disguised as Hanayabal, was reading. He was also seen amongst the group of Impel Down escapees. A pirate group with a panda figurehead and Jolly Roger can be seen fighting with the Rumbar pirates. Monatomo-san Monatomo is a carpenter who cannot go past a broken door without repairing. Monatomo appeared in Wano country, praising Frankie for the wall he built. Fixed the door Higuma kicked off its hinges was suddenly back in place as the bandit left the bar after Higuma smashed a bottle of sake over Shanks. Mr. Matsul is shown to be a fan of gourmet cooking, especially since he has a nasty habit of stealing other people's food. He makes an appearance during the credits of Romance Dawn Remake, where he is seen helping rebuild Silk's village. It is to be noted I have no idea how or where this information came from. Ooh, and there we have it. Usopp puts his hands on his hips looking quite proud of his work. What do you think? Oil looks at their subjects, now in perfect condition due to Usopp interference. It is functional. Usopp's shoulders drop at the lackluster response. Well, if you don't like it. No, Oil interrupts. Seem they must correct themselves. I thank you, it is perfect. And it is, well, nothing is 100% perfect, always some variables to account for, but what Usopp made is definitely getting the job done in the best way they could ask for. He made 2 plants bowls for them. One was long and rectangular with a blue striped pattern to match the grass's blue checkered pattern. The other a normal round flower pot painted with a stylish Q on the side for her belle Q flower. Both fit nicely on their desk in the girls' room. Robin sighed, bringing a little of color in their usually bare side. Really, I appreciate the effort. Oil isn't the most emotional person, but Usopp can see they means it. He puffs out his chest again. Of course, I am a gardening expert after all. I have been able to create plants even in the most somber of places. In fact, they call me Green Thumb Usopp, the plant whisperer. Stop that. Usopp opens an eye he closed in his bluffing. Huh, stop what? Stop being correct. Usopp has no idea what they mean by that, but it sounds like a complaint to him. Hey, I'll try to reel back the greatness. Oil bites their lip, trying to think of something to say. Usopp, if I may ask a question. Sure, what's up? What are your expectations on this ship? Usopp blinks, trying to think what they mean, like, what are we going to be doing? Oil sees they have to explain herself. It is unfair to ask what you expect out of our adventures, but I would like to know what you expect as your place on the crew. He wants to say sub-captain, or second in command, but this is Oil and he has a feeling that any joking or kidding response would not be appreciated. They doesn't seem to get that kind of humor. I'm the marksman. Oil nods. Understood. Understood? Usopp panicked. Wasn't that the right answer? Oil sighs, relaxing a bit at the first sign of emotion he had seen from them. Sadly, there isn't always a right answer in real life. Unlike math, they mutter the last part, but not low enough Usopp couldn't hear. I wanted to gather information from your view of the situation in order to make a proper analysis from near all sides. Right, he nodded in understanding. What situation? Oil neutral face slips more into something between determination and concern. You're the captain of your old crew and I. What are they doing? I just want to know. You are good here. You're good here. It is good to know what with feelings come desires. Desires like wishing the floor would eat you so you may escape a conversation that you are in. Oh Mercury, himself, Usopp is laughing, not loudly but he is still laughing at them. It's okay, Oil, I think I get what you are saying, he reassures them. Oil swallow their doubt. You don't have to be the captain to be important. You are already so important, it is a burden few can bear. Usopp looks down at the floor. The last person he was expecting a heart-to-heart was with Oil. I don't mind not being captain, I mean. He waves his hand looking for his own words. I guess, I never thought about what it really meant to be a leader. Oil doesn't know what to say. You have many traits of leadership, but I am glad you are not. Usopp gives them a flat look. Thanks, because that means you get to be yourself. There was a silence between the two. Just the two standing and staring at each other, not sure what the next course of action should be. One taken aback from blunt honesty and other consumed by more unexplained feelings. Neither really knowing what to say and both begging the other to say something. Hey guys, come out here, Luffy shouts from the main deck. They both look at each other, silently agreeing with the other, before heading out to the main deck to be greeted with an unexplainable sight. It's done, Luffy exclaims proudly, holding up his work of art he has so desperately been working on. I put my heart and soul into this, so tell me, what do you think? While it is to be noted that Luffy is perfectly able to draw on a bear, his normal art skills are still not up to snuff. They could sort of see where he was going with it. A skull with a straw hat. If skull had been melted and the straw hat had been stomped on. I didn't think that a person could draw that badly, Nami says with a deadpan expression. The other two boys seem to agree as they stared at it with horrified expressions. Oil doesn't see what was so bad about it really, but she is right in that it isn't the same as the original symbol, it is different. Luffy? Zoro asks slowly, are you sure you want that as our mark? Absolutely, nice huh? Luffy asks back. Nice compared to what? The Usopp blankie puts. Our mark should be scary. Zoro put a finger to his chin looking off into the distance, as if thinking of his own terror mark. It should strike fear into our enemies' hearts. I do feel the terror, but it's the terror of your talent, Nami says shaking her head. If I saw that mark I'd probably run for it too. Usopp chuckles to himself, gathering their attention. You guys should have told me about this in the first place. He wags his finger making his way to Luffy. Maybe you didn't know this about me, but I am an artist. Okay, you can make the flag, Luffy pouts sullenly. He is not upset that Usopp was going to make their flag, he's not, he was the original creator of it after all. But he is disappointed at himself for not being able to do it. He's only seen the damn flag every day for the past rest of his life. Usopp puts a comforting "Durr, I know it's hard, it took me years to get to the skill level that I am at today," Usopp brags. I have 50 years of experience under my belt after all. Really? Oil asks him honestly, looking at Usopp up and down. Now that you mention it, I can see it.
Hey, Usopp yells at him, his face red. You were setting yourself up for a joke like that, Nami giggles.
She. That's older than Gramps, Luffy laughs happily. I just thought it'd sound more impressive, Usopp offers, trying to him his embarrassment. Which give you 5 or 6 grandkids and I don't see them, Nami smirks looking around for imaginary grandkids. He would have to have a partner first in order to have that. Oil counters logically causing Usopp to stutter more. If you're gonna tell lies at least make them sound more believable, Usopp, Zoro offers, trying not to show his own amusement. Yeah, that's not one of my better lies. Usopp rubs the back of his head with his hand. Teasing seems to be easily done to you, Oil notes for future interactions. Why do you all want to pick on me? Usopp cries out as he takes Luffy's flag with a quick grab. We tease because we care. Luffy genuinely smiles at him, to which Usopp could not reply back with sarcasm. Luffy knows he is going to make his Usopp flag first. It kinda stings that Usopp would make something so fake after everything they have been through. The first time it was a joke, but now, Usopp is like a brother to Luffy, and now it is just a reminder of how much that isn't this case. Not now at least. Usopp mutters something unintelligible under his breath as he focuses all his concentration on the logo. He gets the colors he wants and wets his paintbrush. When he left his village he never thought he would put his artistic skills to use. Not that he is ashamed of them, but knowing they could be useful. He never really thought of how crew even picked their logos. It seems so mundane for adventurous pirates to take time and really think about what they want their logo to be. Well, they better be ready for the best damn symbol they will ever see. Behold! Usopp exclaims as he holds out a Jolly Roger for all to see. Take a look at this masterpiece. He held it out proudly and the Straw Hats all felt their eyebrows raise when they saw it. It was actually the Straw Hat symbol. Luffy takes the flag, jumping up and down. You actually made it, he cries out in happiness. He was expecting Usopp's fake flag, but it was their symbol, theirs. Usopp rubs the back of his head. Well, your painting wasn't all that bad. I could still tell what you were trying to go for, he sounded genuine about Luffy's painting not being terrible. Usopp did think about making a logo to fit more him, but that sounded kinda, well, childish. Luffy is the captain. Sure, he acted like an airheaded brat most of the time, but Usopp had seen him in action and more importantly seen him out of action. Seen him act like, well, old. Luffy was somehow the most childlike person and simultaneously the oldest soul Usopp knew. This isn't pretending to be a pirate anymore. Usopp knows that he is easily scared and insecure just about everything. Most of his lying helps him to feel better and to deal with the situation. This isn't fighting some kid on the playground over who gets to be the captain in their game. There is a big difference between pretending and the real deal. This was it. This is it. Wow, that's actually pretty good, Usopp, Nami says, actually impressed. It is exactly as it needs to be. Oil sees not an inch was out of place of the simple geometrical shapes. But of course, Usopp tells her proudly, I may not have 50 years experience but I have just as much skill. His boastful natural coming back in full force. So, we finally settled on it. This is gonna be our mark? Zoro asks them. Sure is, Luffy says with a voice of finality, pointing up at the sails. Hey Usopp, paint this on the sail too. Right. Usopp starts climbing up the pole, paintbrush in mouth and determination in his eyes. Oil does find themselves impressed by Usopp's artistic skills, mostly due to their lack of skills. They are great with shapes but makes pictures is harder than originally thought. Especially faces. And bodies. And anything that requires any amount of detail. Usopp climbs mast like a monkey going back and forth across the sail. They all sit back and watch him work as he paints the familiar smiling skull with the straw hat on. In record time, he is done. Usopp is lying on the deck, covered in paint, looking exhausted. Okay, finished. Usopp huffs with little breath. Luffy cheers with bright eyes and a blinding smile as he stares at his mark. It is official now, they are the Straw Hat Pirates. Now, the going merry is complete. She didn't look right without it. Oil spoke low for his ears only. Luffy grins at them. They may not have been here the first time but they know. It was nice having someone know. Despite being surrounded by his precious nakama he felt a certain disconnect. They have talked about this. On those nights both refused to sleep, one watching the night the sky, the other afraid of to dream. Luffy sharing too much, Oil sharing too little. But both just needing to talk about things no one else could understand. He's missed them. His crew. That closeness that took years to build on their home on the sunny. He knew he was going to see them again and that any version of his crew will always be his nakama but it still wasn't the same and it needed getting used to. It is the waiting that is killing him. More than half his crew is gone. He has to wait for them to come to him. Or him go to them. Either way, waiting for his family sucks. And they both agreed no one should know of the contract. No one should know of past deaths or future mistakes. Changes will be made but not because of what any past life said so but because the actions they're taking up now. Luffy failed them. As a captain and a friend. It is like Jinbei said, what is gone but what matters is what we still have. That why is he going to get stronger, and 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 stronger until he is able to protect everybody. The wind takes him out of his musing as it picks up. Oh, and there were dark clouds looming in the distance. That's not good. Roll the sail, get to port, main the rudder. Nami starts shouting orders faster than they could be heard. But somehow everyone still manages to get to their stations as ordered. Luffy and Usopp rolled the sails, Zoro maintained the rudder, Oil finally learned how to tie a knot, sorta. Either way, they were getting ready for impact. One storm later. At the end, 4 of the 5 crew members end up on the floor. Zoro groans rubbing his sore arms. Well that was fun. He had to keep the damn boat in place, which itself isn't hard, but keeping the rudder from break is what is hard. Usopp lifts his face up, getting only on his elbows. What are you completing about? Me and Luffy were the ones running around everywhere. Luffy, NDI. Oil mumbles from their spot face down on the floor. Hey, I was holding the rudder. Actually, Luffy says on his back limbs spread out. I'm fine, I just wanted to be included on the floor. Shut up Luffy. Both of them glare at their so-called captain. Zoro turns to Oil. What about you Oil? You just want to join the party. He spat party to make it very clear he doesn't mean it as a party. Oil doesn't lift their head but they do move off her mouth. No, there is an 88% reason to believe that I am actually dying so I have a verifiable reason to be on the floor. Thank you very much. Zoro nods accepting the answer. Okay, that's fair. Nami stomps in front of them all. Okay, break's over, we have land ahead of us. That got the crew's attention. Expect Oil, they're busy dying. Land? Luffy jumps up at the thought. Nami nods a wild glint in her eyes. Yeah, a legendary treasure island. It's infamous among Pira's spooky voice. It has a strange legend that whoever gets close to faces God's anger. What? Everyone, besides Luffy, shouts. This was not in Luffy's contract. Awesome. Luffy shouts over the rest of his crew's cries. Let's go piss off God.
Zoro shrugs, picking himself off the floor. I'm up for it.
I'm not. Usopp shouts back. Luffy tell me you're thinking of actually going. Do you? This is a god we're talking about here. Treasure Island. Treasure Island. But it is too late. He is already lost in his own world, too far gone to come back. Don't worry Usopp. Nami gives a sweet smile. That is ruined but the money sparkling in her eyes. There is an unimagined treasure somewhere on this island. That's don't comfort me at all. Usopp mutters. If this island is so famous wouldn't someone have already retrieved the treasure? Oil continues to the floor. It is surprisingly clean for a ship deck. The chances of it still being there are quite low. Nami shakes her head. Many pirates have tried, but before any could find the treasure they were scared away. She brings her hands up to her face making creepy hand motions, like some of the crew being turned into boars in the middle of the night. Or a man's mustache growing so long it turned into a snake and choked him to death. That really doesn't comfort me. Usopp is practically crying at this point. Luffy, please. Listen to reason. We can't go on this island. We're here. What the rubberman said was true, as Mary was gently stopped in the shallow waters of the island's coast. Let's go. Luffy is already jumping off the ship, fearlessly venturing into uncharted territory. I'm going to sleep. Zoro goes back to lying on the floor. How can you sleep in a place like this? Usopp is at his wit's end with these guys. Do they have a death wish? He was all for fun and adventure but purposely looking for deities to piss off? Zoro. Luffy stops in his track just to whine. How are we supposed to piss of God if you're asleep? Zoro lays there seemingly not going to react to Luffy's calls until he lets out a breath of air through his nose. Yeah, I'm coming. And reluctantly gets up as well. The things I do to annoy deities. Oil finally lifts their head from the floorboards. Keep that attitude up, Zoro. It will take you far in life. Nami jumps off the boat as well into the shallow waters. Come on, that treasure isn't going to find itself. Usopp stands at Mary's edge, shaking soundly. You know, maybe it best if me and Oil butts in, stayed on the ship. After all, we can't just leave Mary, and Oil seems to be out of it, so. Usopp, Oil starts to get up, weak and shaking, but they're trying. Mars curse all. Do you really want to be the only two on the ship of a cursed island while our two best fighters and the only navigator explore said island? Usopp closes his mouth with a click. Hey guy, wait up, and hurriedly follows the others into God's domain. And that's how they end up deep into the jungle forest terrain, looking for the treasure, they guess. Oil certainly has no idea of where this fit into the story. They don't recall any treasure island. No matter what Luffy says. He conveys he has no memory of an island as such, and Oil believes him, but facts are facts that they had some connection to his past. This could be like the Animal Island, but even that had snip bits of truth, as strange as it was. Too bad Luffy would be no help in this situation either. Luffy, on the other hand, knows exactly where he is, but he isn't going to tell Oil that. Where would that fun in that be? This is not a scary island. Nope, no sir. This is just an abandoned island full of treasure, and we are going to leave just fine. Usopp mutters reassurances under his breath the entire time, trying to reason his anxiety away. He has both his hands on Zoro's shoulders as they follow behind Luffy. There is no way that a god would really be here, right Oil? Asking the most reasonable person on the crew. Gods comes in many forms. Chances of his being cursed is about 65% just being here. Oil lethality reassures him. 95% if we piss them off. Usopp goes back to crying, head in his hands. I didn't want to die like this. I didn't want to die at all. We're not dead yet, Usopp. Pull yourself together. Zoro grumbles over his shoulder. Yeah, yet is what I'm worried about. Luffy laughs. Don't worry, Usopp. I'll just kick what Mambo Jumbo's ass is here and we can have a feast. Nami shakes her head. Come on, Luffy, don't tell me you actually believe in those rumors. Nami waves her hand carelessly. Those rumors are probably just some pirate got too drunk and let their imagination run wild. And I'm surprised at you, Oil, never took you for one to believe in all that nonsense. Oil shakes their head. Everything has a reason, Nami, this is no exception. Get out of here, a voice booms throughout the woods. The echoes surround them at every angle. Usopp jumps, his grip now vise-like on Zoro's board shoulders. Who's that? Luffy gives his, as his crew is starting to learn, shit-eating smile. It's God, obviously. I am the guardian god of this island. The voice continues. If you want to save your lives, leave this island immediately. Okay. Usopp makes a turn, but Nami stops him with a single hand on his overalls. Guardian god? Nami questions back. Aren't you guys pirates? The voice sounding less sure and less formal. That's right. Luffy reassures the god. I knew you were pirates. Why would a god need to ask that? Zoro mutters. This god sounded less and less cool to defeat with every second. Like a secondary god you never hear about. I bet he can't even curse us. Why are you disappointed? Usopp shouts. Are you really a god? Nami asks out loud. Nami, not you too. Usopp was fighting a lone battle. Shut up. If you're not leaving, then face God's judgment. Been there, done that, Oil mutters bitterly. He, same, Luffy joyfully agrees. Here, let me just. He pulls back an arm, swinging it in an inhuman fashion. What? What are you doing? What are you? The voice sounding less and less like a supernatural deity and more like a panicked Fruit Loop. I'm Rubberman, Luffy unhelpfully explains. Gum, shoot his arm in the correct direction, pistol. Wait, just to hit a bush in the face. Wait, the face? What is that thing? Nami for the first time shows signs of panic. God is shorter than I thought. Zoro observes the now taken down guardian god of the forest. It's that a man? Usopp, now the threat has been neutralized, takes a closer look at what Luffy punched. Ah, Oil realizes what was going on, so we are finally here after all. They thought they just skipped this island and adventures. Apparently not, you could have given some warning. They turn unamusingly to their captain. Luffy shrugs, looking as unapologetic as he feels, nah. Usopp bravely touches his toe to the bush. Man? So, is he dead? After making sure Bushman was in fact not dead, and after clearing up several miscommunications, they got well acquaintance, taking seats with one another and chatting like they didn't just scare the crap out of each other. The lion pig served drinks of fruit juice in pumpkin bowls all around, a devil fruit. Gaiman notes with some awe as he takes his homemade cup. Back when I was a pirate, I'd heard rumors about it but never met one face to face. Luffy tilts her head. Really? Nothing? Some marines have it too, Kinda mandatory for the admirals even. Gaiman rolls his eyes. Oh yeah, like I'm going to pick a fight with an admiral. Luffy grins to himself as he scratches the back of the fox chicken's head. The animals here were strange, there was no doubt about it, but at the same time, they were so normal as well. They didn't shoot lasered, or have super strength, they were just existing. A weird existence but not making a huge impact. If anything, they seemed pretty lazy as far as just taking two animals and mashing them together. Despite the above average intelligence, it was pretty disappointing. Gaiman studies Luffy interaction with his friends closely. They sure seem to like you. I'm really good with animals, Luffy supplies uselessly. Having King's Haki does help him, but he likes to think he is a likable person. 1 out of millions superhuman power or not. Nami put her cup of, she thinks his mango juice down, so, God, huh? Gaiman smiles sheepishly. Yeah, sorry about that. Kinda used that cover to get people off this place. He pets one of his animals, a snake rabbit. I have been stuck in this box for the past 20 years. That's kinda stupid, Zoro unabashedly comments. Shut up. I am a man with pride. Luffy slowly sips his juice, deep in thought. So, you are half human, half box. His train of thought led down a certain direction. Stop, Oil puts their hand up. Stop that train of thought right there. He fell in the box, Luffy, not, whatever you were thinking.
Usopp groans a little. So, do you wanna, as to, he gestures to all of Gaiman, take you out?
Gaiman shakes his head. After 20 years, my body has fitted into this treasure box perfectly. My spine and organs have become fitted into this thing. If you break this box, my body will be done for. Oil pictures it, that is, mentally disturbing. I did not have to hear that. Gaiman snorts, it's the truth. Usopp chuckles to himself, what a chatterbox. Someone laughs at that. Well, not really a laugh but more like a single bark of air coming out of throat. Like it wanted to laugh but doesn't have the muscles to do so. That was the sound that comes out of Oil's throat, AHK. They chow in their hand, blood rushing to their face, excuse me. Everyone stares at her for a moment until Usopp grin almost splits his face into two. Well, thanks for telling us, Gaiman. It must be nice to get that off your chest. Oil unwilling lets out another bark. We didn't mean to kick your booty. Akakaka, Usopp, please cease. Oil sounds almost to be in pain despite the silent laughter. But it turns out you have a heart of gold. Nami hits his head with a swift chop of her hand. Enough already. Gaiman lifts his single eyebrow, whistling, not asking, rather changing the subject. But, who are you guys exactly? There's something different compared to the pirates that came previously. I'm Luffy, said man holds a hand up, the man who will become the Pirate King. Oh, I see, Gaiman sips his juice acceptingly, only to spit it out. What? You heard me. Luffy looks at the lost juice, what a waste. So you're going after the One Piece, you say? Gaiman grumbles, letting this information sink in. You're not really planning to go to the Grand Line, are you? Yup, Nami affirms, we even have a map to it. Don't underestimate it. That place is the Hell's Coffin. Gaiman shudders in memory. I was one of the first crews to go after Roger's death. I have seen pirates that escaped from the Grand Line. They were spiritless, like the undead. I didn't speak of what they saw, they were so traumatized. Zoro tenses his shoulders. Nami gulps a bit but refuses to look away. Usopp is shamelessly shaking, while Oil thought about how to make an origami lion pig. Luffy put every ouch into his self-control not to snort because, really, that was Paradise part of the Grand Line. Come on, East Blue. Gaiman continues gravely, not noticing two of his audience not really paying attention. Beyond that, there are so many rumors about One Piece that no one knows the truth anymore. The Great Pirate Era has already lasted 20 years. He looks far off into the sky as if it held any answer. The One Piece is no longer a mere legend but a dream within a dream. And where is it in the Grand Line? Who knows? He finishes his monologue dramatically, looking off into the distance, commanding a solemn respect. It's at the end on an island called Raftel, where the only way to find it is to decipher all 4 of the Rio poneglyphs. Oil explains easily, ignoring any command to the mood. All eyes turn to them, giving her a look like they split their head. Oil is not so inept to social cues to know they have said something wrong, but what is something concerning? Luffy laughs at their plight. She, Oil. They don't know about that. Oil lets that sink in for a moment. They don't. No. Luffy waves his hand back and forth. The One Piece is considered a legend here. Oil tries to wrap their brain around this. I don't comprehend. Luffy understands, he having a hard time believing it too now that he looks at it. It's the East Blue. They don't even get devil fruits here despite Smokey being in Logatown. I just thought it was common knowledge was all. Oil tries to explain themselves. They have lived with the One Piece for a good 800 years. How can that history just be gone? Luffy nods, disappointed as well, you would think, sipping his juice. Okay, we get it, Nami shouts. You two are the experts here, don't have to rub it in. Damn, Gaiman gets a far-off look in his face. Pirates sure have changed in the past 2 decades. He sizes up Luffy with another look. Where do you get so much confidence from? Luffy smiles, I'll definitely find the One Piece and show you. He doesn't answer the question. Gaiman just stares, like he hasn't seen Luffy right before now. He closes his eyes and chuckles lovely to himself like he was told a bad joke he couldn't help but find funny. I give up. Luffy cocks his head to the side, silently asking him to go on. Your face resembles mine, like a twin, Gaiman states. Usopp makes a face. No, there is literally none. He points to Zoro. If anything you would be related to Zoro. Zoro sputters out his drink. What the hell? What? You both have green hair, Usopp says innocently. No, not like that, Gaiman interrupts. His expression, that drive to find your treasure, even if your life's on the line. It was that passion that changed my life. He goes on his tale. 20 years ago my companions and I landed on this island trying to find the treasure that lay here. After a month of looking, all we found was one empty box. But I didn't give up. I searched at the top of a cliff only to fall back and get stuck in this box. I passed out and when I awoke my companions had already set sailed away, leaving me behind. For all the years since then, that one glance at the treasure hasn't left my mind. His eyes were tried, tired of years of solitude, but determined as ever. So when pirates come to this island in search of treasure I used my animals' friends to scare them away. In this manner for 20 years I have guarded the treasure. His grim face turned fierce. They are mine, there's no doubt about it.
They're yours, surprisingly coming from Nami as she stands up. Gaiman, I understand. I'll help you get that treasure.
Gaiman eyes sparkled. Really? Zoro tilts his head. I thought you only stole from pirates? Nami yells, that's rude. I have principles too, you know. Gaiman takes it in. Could this really be? He feels like he can trust them, these pirates. His crew is nothing like he had seen before. Follow me then. He leads the crew into the forest. They all got up to follow. Oil Bean in the rear saw something that caught their eye, curious. They catch up to them later. Bean lead to the flat hill where all Gaiman's dreams stood there, never to be able to get there. How many days has he spent here looking up at a dream just out of his reach? Luffy looks up, a ball of dread forming in his stomach. Here, huh? Gaiman is breathless from the trek. One haven't been here in a long time. This may be his dream but no point in staring at it every day. Finally the time has come. Today's a good day. I'm counting on you, Straw Hat. There is no getting out of this now. Luffy accepts his fate and nods, refusing to let anything show on his face. Okay. He pulls a rocket and sprung himself up to the top. Back at the bottom all of the crew and bushmen stare in anticipation at the edge of the cliff, waiting for confirmation of a long-lasting dream. Staring, and staring, and staring. Is he okay? Usopp asks after a while. Zoro shrugs, maybe he got lost? You only wish he was worse than you, wind chimes, Oil comments. Hey, Gaiman interrupts them, getting worried. Straw Hat, how is it? Do you see it? Nami taps her foot. What is he doing? She calls up, Luffy, what's happening? Luffy peeks over the edge, his smile in place but looking more forced. I've got it. 5 treasure boxes. Gaiman cries out in happiness. You got it, finally, after all these years, the treasure. Well, come on down already. We got to celebrate. Nope. Luffy puts extra emphasis on the P. Nope. He repeated, what do you mean nope? I think it means no. Oil helps. Oil, now's not the time. Nami puts a hand on her head. I really don't want to give you them. He didn't then, he doesn't now. They're mine now. Nami calls up herself. What nonsense are you saying? Stop joking, Luffy. He has to be joking around. There is no reason he would want it. He isn't that kind of guy. Yeah, Usopp agrees, getting annoyed as well. That treasure belongs to Gaiman. Hand them all over. No, now he is just sounding childish. Stop being selfish, Nami shouts. I am selfish, Luffy. It's okay. Gaiman's strangely soft voice cuts through the air. Nami turns on her heel. It's not okay. You've guarded that treasure for 20 years and Luffy is being a brat. Gaiman shakes his head. Straw Hat, you're. His voice wobbles. His eyes were watering a bit but he manages a smile. You're really a nice guy. Zoro bows his head in understanding. So, it's gone. Usopp and Nami whip their heads at that. Gone? Usopp murmurs, not really getting it. Gaiman nods, looking far older than he did before as tears stream down his face. I thought of it before. That maybe. Even though it's unbearable to think it, he cradles his face in his hands, trying and failing to keep his composure. There's nothing inside, is there? Yeah, Luffy's face was unreadable, they're all empty. Nami puts a hand to her mouth. I can't believe it. The treasure you've guarded for 20 years. His empty boxes. She could feel a faint chill run down her spine at the thought of that. All her treasure, just one day, gone. It's something that happens often with treasures. Gaiman continues smoothly despite the tears, as if his dream of 20 years didn't just break down in front of him. Sometimes pirates find them after the treasure has been taken. Treasure hunting in a trial and error process. You could waste a lifetime, sacrifice your life, only to get nothing at the end. There are many pirates like that. There was a silence between them all, as if someone had died. In a way, someone did as they found that they should mourn the dream itself. Because in this world when your dream dies, you die as well. Luffy jumps down, breaking the silence. He is in his crouch position, leveled with Gaiman as his hat covers his face. Cheer, Bushman. He lifts his head to give his biggest smile. You only had to wait 20 years. If no one came you could have waited 30 years. How is that supposed to make him feel better? Nami says not unkindly. Well, he is not incorrect, Oil offers. What matters is that Gaiman appreciates it all the same. Straw Hat. He takes a deep breath and sighs, as if trying to let go of 20 years of struggle in one breath. Hey, thanks. Luffy nods. Now all that's left is one piece. He looks at Gaiman and really, just look at him for a moment. He is a 30-something-year-old man, trapped in a chest with the only movement being his feet, the worst spinal problem that even Chopper would faint from sight, and has hair that looks like brush growing out of his head. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Hey Gaiman. He smiles as true. Join my crew. Gaiman's eyes widen. Huh? What are you talking about? Oil was right next to him, looking more unamused than usual. Yes Luffy, please enlighten us. Luffy held out his hands. Hear me out, I wanted to join. Oil sighs. Luffy, this isn't something you can just decide on the spot. Why not? I can ask him. He's not fit for the Grand Line. Oil reasons. He would get washed away within moments of entering that sea. He will be useless to us. So would you, Luffy counters. You're weak as hell. Oil stop full on. They have nothing to say. Their throat seems to be closed and their voice is gone. Which was illogical. They always have an answer, a solution. They're weak. Luffy goes on. He might be weak but he's not useless just because he is in a box. Oil. No one is useless. Gaiman speaks up. I have to say I am thankful for the offer but I can't. He gestures to his animals. I have other things I need to protect now. Luffy pouts sadly at the same answer as before. Are you sure Bushman? Gaiman nods. I have lived with these guys for 20 years through hard times and happy times. I can't just leave them. His animals slowly started to surround him, feeling his distress and wish to comfort. For a bunch of animals, they were scary smart. Now that I know there's no treasure I feel free for the first time. From now I'd like to live my life the way I want. In reality, I've begun to enjoy living in a box. Luffy giggles. I see, that's too bad because Bushman's so interesting. Zoro looks at the weird animals around them. The strange creatures are your true companions, huh? Though you are the strangest. What did you say? Gaiman yells in anger. I see. Oil says, they're tone neutral. I have been short-sighted in my calculations. They turn to Gaiman. Mr. Gaiman, if I may ask a question? Gaiman calms down. Sure, what do you need to know? I would like to inquire you about this flower, as they held out a certain pink flower from her pocket. Nami recognized it. Isn't that your Belle-Q flower? Oil shakes their head. It is the same species but it seems that it is native to this island as well. Gaiman takes the flower in his stubby hands. Yeah I know it. It is few and far between but they do grow here. If you asking what they are called I can't give you an answer. Oil nods their head. That is fine. Names are not important where. The question is, do you know what they do? Gaiman scratches his cheek. I mean, kinda. I have no idea how they work but I do suspect they are what make my animals friends so special. Oil takes out their journal. I see, while this information is little, it is valuable. I would like to be the one to formally ask you to be a part of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. What? Now all of the Straw Hats were surprised at that. Luffy groans. No, I don't want to fleet around. Oil straightens up. Luffy, I understand your reasoning to have everyone be free and follow their own path as it lines with your philosophy but I must implore you to just call it a fleet. I have no other name. What about Straw Hat Fan Club? Luffy offers. No. The Straw Hat Gang. Worse, the SS Friendships? When did you have a fleet? Nami yells over them. Luffy puts a finger in his nose. It's not made yet, and it's not a fleet. I don't want to order people around. It would be helpful on the Grand Line, Zoro supplies. Of course his captain would know Mihawk, an emperor, and have a fleet in the making. Obviously, his mind chastised him for his doubt. Your captain is going to be Pirate King and you're going to be right next to him. A fleet? He has a freaking fleet? Usopp has not so silently whispers to himself. He quickly pulls himself together. I mean aha. My years of training my own fleet are finally going to go to use. Anyway, Oil gets back on track. I see now that while having you as imitate crew would cause a negative impact, it would help in the long run if you took up pirating again. I stand by what I said in that Joe line will be determinative, but your usefulness would be better suited here. They are not wrong. Gaiman would be fish food. Like he killed with a high 98% of not even making it past Laboon. But Luffy isn't wrong either. Gaiman could be useful in other ways. They just HVED to have enough variables to see them. Gaiman gaps at them, from Luffy to Oil to his animals, and back to Luffy. You're really serious? Luffy grins. Yup. Oil continues. If you could stay here and research these species of flowers and their effect on your animals, it would be greatly effective. Gaiman's mind was going a mile a minute. Well, he picks his words carefully, counting off his finger. I don't know anything about zoology, biology, geology, geography, cryptozoology. Then to his other hand, evolutionary theory, evolutionary biology, meteorology, limnology, history. Then to his toes, herpetology, paleontology, botany, dendrology or horticulture. He takes a breath, but I think I can take a wild guess. Perfect. Oil nods. You have more experience with these animals than any other human being alive. Experience is worth more than theory. Oil starts mumbling to no one. The question is, why are these animals here and how did they form? Their evolutionary structures are vast beyond any normal natural process suggests. Not to mention the chances of something this unnatural in the East Blue are astronomical. How has no one noticed these changes before? Is this a cover-up? Some kind of way to hide any true value this ocean hold by keeping it under wrap from the scientific community? Oil. You're mumbling to yourself again. Oil catches themselves. Oh, yes, sorry. She turns to Nami. Nami, can you give him a map to the Animal Theater Island? Usopp turns as well. Animal Theater? Nami shakes her head. Don't ask. It's an island we went to before you. And yeah, I have a spare on the ship, but... They look at Gaiman. Are you sure? Oil nods. This will be interesting. Usopp nods, putting a hand on Oil's shoulder. Right, interesting. And hey, if all else fails, then he could still come back to the crew as a... Don't, Nami whisper threatens. Usopp weighed his options. Worth it, a boxer. AHK, Oil tried to hold back this time, but alas. Kakakakakakakaka. They let out a broken cackle loud enough for all the island to hear. Any sane crew would get shivers at the sound, thinking perhaps a witch or some villain had completed their dastardly plans for world domination. But there was no sane crew, just the Straw Hat Pirates that took delight in the strange laughter. PF ha 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 ha. Usopp was laughing just as hard. Your laugh is insane. He got out between the giggles. Kakakakaka, it's not like Kaka. I have a Kakaka choice. Oil tries to fight back, but no, the joke was just too funny for them. Heheheheheh. Even Nami had to calm her own laughter. Wahahahaha. You guys are hilarious, Gaiman shouts. Ahahahah. Zoro laughs more at his crew than with them, but it was laughter nonetheless. Shishi. Luffy is surprisingly the first to move back to Mary. Well, come on. Once back, Nami got the spare map to Animal Theater Island and gladly hands it over to Gaiman. Don't know how much good that will do. Gaiman takes the map. I don't even have a ship. Oh, here, Luffy goes off the side of the Mary and got Buggy's old clown Denji. You have our old one. Usopp sputters. When did we have that? Nami rolls her eyes. How did you not see that? We tried it to the back of the ship, have been pulling it this whole time. We weren't going to let a good Denji go to waste. Really? Gaiman looks in shock at the small, but still very managing boat. Nami shrugs. We have a ship now, so we aren't really using it, so you can take it off your hands. Gaiman sniffs a bit, another wave of emotion coming off of him. I can't thank you guys enough. In one day you have changed my life more than I could ever describe. The Straw Hats just smile, but they felt their hearts soft at his words. Oil coughs a bit. Yes. Well, once you get there, find Gorilla. They have a 2 of clubs cards. You should be able to use. A card? Gaiman questions. Yes, it will connect us to let me know you are there, Oil uselessly explains. Gaiman thinks a moment but decides not to question it. Alright, I'll look into this Belle Q flower business. But you guys go off on your dreams to the Grand Line, you hear? Luffy grins like a madman he is as he gets on board the Mary. Absolutely, we'll be seeing you, take care. Gaiman waves his hands as his animals howl and hoot behind him. Till we see each other again. Straw Hat, work hard towards your dreams and I will too. If anyone is going to be Pirate King, I'm sure it's you. And that ends this story, with one more member of the Straw Hat and another questioning their position. Zoro, a word please. Zoro lifts an eyebrow at their astronomer. What? They gesture a little farther from the rest of the crew and he follows, waiting to see where this was going. Oil stops and bites their lip, reading themselves. I have been lacking in my field of expertise. Due to Searstance, my stamina is at a low and while my mental well-being is bettering. My physically one needs improvements. Well, I mean what I said. Experience is more than theory and as such, I would like to rely on you for more experience. Zoro sighs, in English, please. Oil takes a deep breath. Here goes something. Would you please train me? They breath it all in one word. Zoro stills for a moment, first sinking in the request brought to him, then thinking it over in his head a couple of times, getting a feel to the idea, all while Oil sweats on the spot. Oil feels a chill run down their back and their palms turn sweater, but they ignored it. Weak. Luffy is right, they're weak. It doesn't matter, you won't be here for long anyway. But they need to be more useful to the team, while they're here at least, and even after that, so their own sake. I won't go easy, you know. His face betrays nothing. I know, they says barely above a whisper. I won't accept anything less than everything you got, understand? Understood. Zoro's stone face breaks into a maniacal grin, one that Oil is sure was the last thing many of his enemies saw until they woke again and impelled down. If they woke up again. Alright, then, his gaze is as merciless as the sea itself. Gone is Zoro that slept until noon and could barely write his name, and in his place awakened the demon with dimples. He looks at them like a cruel child looks at a new and shiny toy, a horrible mentality. I can't wait to break them.